Hello, hello. I think we should be good to go. Everything looks good on my end. Appreciate your patience starting this one a little bit late. Needed to make sure I got a couple things taken care of. Oh, before we get too far, I do have to switch from top chat to live chat. Let's take care of that. There we go. Now I shouldn't miss anything. Last episode, last stream, whatever you want to call it, we did a lot of improvements in terms of logistics. We got most of these cities hooked up to the central hub with some sort of freight delivery. I think actually minus, no, we got Flint too. Well, it looks like we've got everybody. Let's just double check. Yeah, every city on the map is getting at least something in terms of what they are wanting to have delivered. Even this place, which I don't know, wow, okay, they're actually getting almost half of the machines they want. So in terms of balancing things out, I don't have an answer for you on that. I don't know exactly how the game decides to split things up, but we probably are going to want to start optimizing all of our factories for everything. Hello everyone in chat, good to see you. It's not giving me any stream stats, so I don't know how many people we have, but I do see a few of you saying hello. Now we got machines over here, and it looks like we're not quite transporting everything out. Yeah, you know what? We're actually losing some stuff because I don't have enough cargo buildings to store it. So let's put a couple more of these in. Make sure we don't, miss anything. And I think probably a lot of our issue is because New York machine supply is too short of a train. Because this ended up going into the other part of the map, and we do have all these fancy new things. The larger boxcars that have stupid high capacity. This one holds 18. This one holds 20, and it goes 99 miles per hour. Now, obviously, actually, no, the, whatever in the world this thing is called, the Milwaukee Road Electric, I forget what the designation is, it will do 99 miles per hour. So, we got $9 billion. We might as well go ahead and give it a very, very nice complement of boxcars here. Now, obviously, it can't fill up stuff after it's already left, but that should help. These tracks are not high-speed tracks. We do need to upgrade all of those. In terms of this plank supply here, we do still have time. The big boy also can go quite fast. I think the total capacity of this is 108. If I give it the flat car with the side stakes, 4 of those, 5 of those gets us just a little bit below the capacity of a bunch of those. That one's 18, and this one's 20, but of course this goes 99 miles per hour, so that should help us out substantially. That is 100. Let's do one more to get it to 120 for a mere $11 million. And it might actually, well, once this reloads, it might actually get there. Yeah, so the machine supply comes in here, and then it gets transferred to whatever is going to go back to the main part of the map. And I don't know. Maybe I have to click on this. Yeah, okay, there we go. Mixed Freight Express is taking 45 machines back to our hub here. Is it a really good setup? No, it's awful. But it works. And sometimes that's enough. Now, your Flint machines supply is not necessarily in need of an upgrade, but we're going to want to at some point. See, now we got 100 here. And I don't know if that's going to be too much or not enough in the long run, but it will be slowly clearing this backlog out, and we're making progress in that way. No, the AI slop is almost always just horrendously wrong. Yes, this has already improved a tiny, tiny bit. We do have... Okay, we're not having any problems with that. San Diego. The enigma that is San Diego in this game. What about you? We've got 162 people wanting to go counterclockwise. The station doesn't have capacity for that. So, if you saw the note, it said passengers were leaving. So why don't we? If I can find a place to stick some of these. Yeah, see, it doesn't want to play nice because they don't have anywhere else to go. So I guess we have to make ugly over here and give it some modern concourses so people don't abandon their dreams of traveling on the train. In fact, let's take a look. Industry statistics. No, I want station statistics. I want very poor overload. San Diego sightings. Is that the passenger one? Oh, it absolutely is. But the rest of them are very good. So it seems like San Diego is a pretty popular spot. Unfortunately, we're going to have to remove some of these buildings to give people some additional capacity here. So since that's already gone, let's go for 4 of those. That should... You know, actually, the combination of the old style and the new style doesn't look bad. Does not look bad. All right, let's try our very bad overload. We have one that's just good. But that, I believe... Yeah, that actually is a problem. Let's fix that. And these things don't care. So, let's see, large side buildings. Yeah, see, this is the only real improvements I could do to this. We'll just add a bunch of these, and then we won't have any problems ever again. That should help us get the rest of our transport stuff all the way up. If you remember, all of these say now, with the exception of New York City South, which is in Milwaukee for some reason. Don't think that's how that works. They're all very good. So let's just check out what's happening here. Ah, yes. The steel supply. All right. Do I have room? I do not. Well, technically I do if I go here. Can I put one on the other side? No, that's going to be ugly. So you know what that means? It means, no, that's not going to work either. I put these too close to everything. That's not a great move. Well, I'm just going to put a large building here because that should help. I think this is, what, an extra 250 capacity? Never mind, it's an extra 60. Okay, well, that's not great. That's not great. How am I supposed to... no, so that's not going to fit. Well, if it becomes a problem again, then we will, at that time, be able to deal with it. Now, this is not ever full, but we have the ability to upgrade our 75-mile-per-hour gondola to the 99-mile-per-hour gondola. This holds 126, so we want this to get at least to over that, which 140, that would be 120. Let's do 140, and it'll be able to go. What is the top speed of the big boy? 81 and not 99. Well, that's fine. That'll be all right. We'll get all that taken care of. I am absolutely certain that is a quote from a movie that I have not been able to place. Let's see, 126 capacity. Let's get that up to 140. Not 160. Don't need 160. This guy can go 99 miles per hour. We've already established that. So I guess we're about to spend a lot of time upgrading trains in this one. 162, huh? So that one's going to need to be 180. It does shorten the train a tiny bit with these higher capacity cars. All right, now who else? Who else needs upgraded cars? Mixed Freight Express with the 75-mile-per-hour ones. Now these E60s can go 99 miles per hour. So what I'm going to do is just replace these things here. That holds 20, that holds 18, that holds 20. We've been over this. So that's going to help things be just a tiny bit faster. 4 of these Mixed Freight Express to Milwaukee. They'll add other things, I'm sure, in due time. Is this... Okay, we already did those. I also probably could just, you know, go by vehicle statistics and look, but it's kind of fun to just find random trains and say, you know what, we need to upgrade that. We've also got all of our passenger... I'm pretty sure I upgraded these to the Acela Express on the outside. There is no viable alternative, except for these, what are those, D300s or something, I think is what that's called. M300. Okay, close enough. There's nothing to replace this. The only other thing I could do, besides cloning to get more, is just put in, like, commuter trains or something like that, but I don't really feel like doing any of that. Okay, before this guy heads out, that is a big boy pulling 288 capacity flat cars. Okay. I'm thinking the big boy might need to be replaced at some point, but let's get that 300 capacity. I'm pretty sure that will still fit on the max length platform. It should be okay. And did I already look at this one? I did. That is the Acela. And that's that guy we already talked about. This is... That's an Acela. Okay, what is this? Is this one I literally just replaced? Yes. Okay. So that means this one is not. And I made a mistake. Okay, let's take care of that. 288 up to 300. You know the drill. We've been at this for a while. Yeah, the big boy doesn't have the... Ironically, in real life, they would have absolutely no problem. But it does not have the pulling power to do 15 flat cars. Oh, okay. Salsa commercial. Gotcha. Train on New York Steel Iron Supply 2 line is stuck at the river because the track isn't... Really? You know... Oh boy. Oh boy. Well, this is a good opportunity for us to, What do you mean construction's not possible? Okay. It's a good opportunity for us to upgrade all of these tracks to high speed. Which, well... Not always a guarantee that it's going to be super easy or possible. Why did I do that? They can't even accelerate to full speed. It's fine. Let's just spend a whole bunch of money doing this right now so I don't have to worry about it later. Okay, that's going to go all the way around, all the way around, all the way around. The station platforms are not upgraded, but that doesn't really matter because I don't have any of these doing through trips. The guy with the talk box is going to town again. I understand why this is not an option, but it would be kind of nice to have a just upgrade all tracks to high speed button. But then the game would have a lot less of a strategy feel to it if you're just allowed to do everything all at once without even trying to figure out how to work it. Probably don't need to do these as high speed, but who cares? Let's just get all of this upgraded because we have the cash. We've been on a spending spree this entire episode, and our money has only gone up. That ought to tell you just how ridiculous this is. Alright, so that's all high speed. This is not. I can't until I zoom in. Yeah, okay. It's a 2-track mainline. Kind of. Yeah, let's just make sure we get all of these. I do have this signalized so they can pass each other. I can't remember if this is the freight one or if this is a passenger one, but I've done that a couple times. And then we have all this ridiculousness here. This 4-lane, it's not cars, 4-track bridge. Could have been a 5-track bridge, except I didn't want to figure out how to make that work. I guess it technically could have been a 6-track bridge, depending on what else I was going to be doing here. Okay. We'll be through with this in a moment. Appreciate your patience. I just got to make sure before I forget we upgrade all of these because that's going to improve our frequency and it's going to improve basically everything without us having to necessarily upgrade all of our trains. Okay, so that's good there. Get these here. Peoria wants goods. Well, they're going to have to fight for them with everybody else because I can't really make any more right now. That one did go, right? Okay. And I know the little passenger shuttle loops don't have to be high speed, but it's fine. That's going to get us there. That should get us most of the way in, and it looks like it is. Corona now demands food. I'm sure they do. We'll get to your complaints in the order they were received. Thank you, autosave. Okay, that should be there. We're getting to it. We're getting to it. Just a little bit more. Got a stray piece right there. Don't need the ones going into the engine houses or whatever. The depots. Yeah, so now we got all these trunk lines going everywhere. Just have to come back and do a high-level scan for any more red just as soon as we're finished with whatever we're working on over here. And this does go past here to go to a couple different places. Connect to this other station. That's fine there. Oh, they actually use this. Okay. Why in the world did I design this way? I think the answer there is that I didn't design it. I just kind of did it. There's a substantial cost to just kind of flying by the seat of your pants when it would have been of tremendous benefit to just think about it for 5 seconds. But you know how it goes. Crossovers don't necessarily need to be high speed, but I do think they have a little bit more flexibility if you do them that way. That's what I was told, at least. Could be wrong. Okay, and that goes underground. All the way over here. Man, I've got a lot of track that I completely forgot about laying here. In real life, this is where most people would do a time lapse. Or just cut entirely, but we don't have that luxury in a live stream, unfortunately. This is like the first one I did, one of these. Oh no, that was the first one I did was the logging one down here. That was a mess. Okay, that's all taken care of. That's all now all taken care of. That doesn't matter. Now I'm not expecting this to get any better, just because the curve radii are way too tight. But we can do our part to make sure everything is as prepared as it can be. Yeah, we still got a lot. Still got a lot to go. But we're getting there. Did I get that one? Yeah. Under the town. Fine. Now, we all know that these M300s cannot go any faster than about, what, 60 miles per hour? So I don't think this really matters, but it's going to look nicer. Do have to get all the crossover pieces all at the same time. Okay, that's looking good. And then coming out of the station here, just get this other loop, and then we'll do another check. I think I've got most of it. Should be. And yes, we're still absolutely just rolling in cash, despite spending money like it's going out of style over here. Okay, we're gonna have to pick a route and then come back to do the rest, because these are diverging too much. And this is the trunk lines going down here and down here. I really should have built these as high speed, but I think part of me did not think that... Oh, I've got that too. Part of me didn't think that the US, North American, whatever, vehicle set even gave you 99 mile per hour freight stock. Because we certainly don't have in this country, unless something is going horribly wrong, freight trains going 99 miles per hour. Most of them go highway speed. No faster than about 65, 70. I know maximum track speed for the classification of track that the vast majority of the United States is 79 miles per hour per FRA regulations. But a lot of freight trains, unless they're like on really straight level track, they're not going to go that fast. You're going down a mountain, you are crawling. You're going super slow. So you can get the dynamic brakes working in your favor. But I digress. Let's get this autosave completed here. Take a look at Oh, man, I need to take a drink real quick, but I need to finish this so we're not wasting any more time. I think this is all high speed. Minus the tails that go into the depots, which don't matter. That one's not even connected to anything. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to call that done. This oil well's about to go away in 177 days. Can I use this? I don't need to pause necessarily, but I'm going to. Can I use this oil well? So I've got others up here that I'm not using. I don't think there's a refinery anywhere near here. Yeah, this oil well, this is already maxed out, so I can't put anything else in there. So anything I'd use from this would have to go way far across the map. I have a refinery here, but I have one well here. I have another refinery here. No other oil in the vicinity. How are we looking on specific goods? Do I have a way to industry statistics maybe? No, I want to look at what cities are consuming. Okay, so basically nobody except Chattanooga has enough fuel. And there's not going to be any more that can get it except these that only have 2 right now, because we're at a maximum of 4 goods per town. So I guess there is, there is a reason for us to get into more oil processing, but I don't know. We were already using this. That's basically maxed out. Is there another fuel refinery somewhere on the map that we're not using? Let's check industry statistics. Sort by production, negative. And we need to look for fuel. New York City Fuel Refinery. Well, wouldn't you know it? Wouldn't you know it? It's right here. So, if I do, there's one here to here. We could make a train line going from here to here. And then from here, collecting all of these other things. There is also one right there, but I like these being close together. And I don't think we need to cry about that one going away because we have 2 others right here. It actually would be kind of hard to get trains out of. They need to go at least 88 miles per hour. Well, some of them certainly are. They don't want to do 99 miles per hour down a mountain and then into the mountain on a curve that's in front of a city. Now, that has happened. Not on purpose, and it has resulted in horrific disaster, loss of life, and property damage, so I'd like not to recreate that. But, what was I doing? Oh, yeah. I'm going to get the fuel refinery set up, and then get that linked to here. And the only stuff going through here is things we don't care about. The game doesn't need to be paused for me to do that, though, so let's unpause. Remember, we're trying to get to 2050 as the win condition of this whole thing. So if I do, I don't think I'm going to need through tracks, but I'm going to go ahead and do 2 high speed. Yeah, let's pop this here. And then at the very end, way up here, I'm going to have to be careful about how I get this attached because I want to make sure I have room to put additional space. The ends should be fine. That's going to get me from there to there. That'll be easy to connect. And then I just need to get oil wells coming in here, which is a good reason to have the 2 tracks. I actually probably should have put a 3rd and maybe a 4th, depending on how I want to do it. But we do have this oil well here, should we choose to save it, which we have 1, 2, and 3 in this vicinity. Probably not a bad idea, depending on how I wanted to put my station. Because, this is, I don't know. I don't know that I can even... Alright, we're going to hit pause again, because I don't want to... Well, technically it would be possible. Technically. But I don't think this is going to be a good idea. I really don't. What makes rail high-speed outside of the train or the tracks built different? In this game, I don't think it really cares, but in real life, high-speed tracks are going to be much, much, much more tightly controlled in terms of like engineering standards. There's a maximum slope that they want to achieve. They almost always are going to try and get as flat and straight as possible. So you're going to see a lot of viaduct, a lot of tunneling, and then very careful routing, which is part of the reason why it's just heinously expensive to build high-speed rail, regardless of the competency of the governments and the companies designing it and the contractors building it. It is unbelievably expensive to build high-speed rail if it is not massively, massively subsidized. So, for the purposes of the game, it doesn't really seem to care, but in real life there are considerable differences that have to be taken into account. Aren't on the hook for any insurance claims in this game. Yeah, you got that right. Not a chance. Now I can... I think... Yeah, I can just go over this from this thing, and I do think it's nice to have all of that taken care of. Did I say this one was maxed out? Yes, okay. Generally speaking, you want 3 of these going to one... what do you call it? We don't need the two tracks. If I put this here, then it's going to give me an opportunity to go probably underground, I know, and then come up here to that side of that thing. But because this is in danger of disappearing, let's do, let's just get this taken care of. If we just directly link these, it's going to probably do some sort of ridiculously stupid pathing. Bridge pillar collision. And then the curve tightens to 117, 56 because it's, well. Now, I know I said high-speed rail, you know, it really likes viaducts, but this is not, it's not the viaduct I had in mind. That's much closer to what you'd actually see. This entire thing is on viaduct. Well, you know, I can't say that I would have chosen to elevate all of that. But, you know, if it works, it works. But it says there's a bridge pillar collision. I think it went away after I changed the bridge type. Yeah, this is tolerable. So we've got this single thing here. Am I going to have anything else coming in from below? I don't think there's another oil well down here. Well, there's one way over here, but I don't think we want to be messing with that. We can leave that for something else. And then, depending on how we want to do this, if I can get a station to fit, maybe we use 2 shorter trains instead of longer ones. Then I could have these come down here and join the turbo viaduct. But I don't think it's going to be an issue. Let's dig in. Definitely new to this game. I'm not really that experienced with it either. I'm gonna not build this for right now because I want to make sure that I have enough stuff set up. But that gives us an idea. So the objective of this game, if you are brand new to it, is first of all make sure I have the correct length. Yeah. You want to get raw materials to things that can process those raw materials, and then obviously they go to towns as well. So it's a surprisingly complex logistics. I shouldn't really say simulator. It's a surprisingly complex logistics puzzle with simulation elements. I don't know if it's, strictly speaking, accurate in any way, but it's a lot of fun. The reason I have so many platforms here is because this is an oil refinery that turns it into, from crude oil into just regular oil, and then we have to send this up to here that makes fuel, and then the fuel has to go into the hub so the other towns can get it. Normal people who play this game, who are not insane, are not going to play it with only trains. They're going to use all of the trucks and the buses and the trams and the airplanes and all that. But because I want one achievement, which is if you get to 2050 with only ever using trains in a playthrough, and you don't have mods or whatever, then you get an achievement. And I thought it would be a fun playthrough. We've been doing this for quite a long time. But I think for now I'm ready to get this connected again. I do want to leave room to get these guys in, so I do want to build those stations first. Yeah, but I started on this one because it was about to be removed for being inactive. So, get out of here. If we go to, let's do 2-track cargo station, I can route these through each other. And get this attached. You have to go within a certain radius of an actual industry for that to allow you to connect to it. And if this comes in on this side, I think I'm going to need to... we're not going to build like buses or trains. We're definitely building trains. We're not going to be building any sort of trucks, but I do need to have this thing connected with some sort of a road so I can actually, you know, attach a station to it. And I don't want it to look terrible, so that's why I put probably too much time and effort into things that don't really matter. Stop me if you've seen that before. But I do think it is worth investing a little bit of extra effort. Especially if you got a bunch of people that are interested in how this is set up. Alright, I want this to be... I don't want it to look completely stupid. No, that's the wrong tab. Let's get this straight across. There we go. I need it to have these little lines going between the industry and the road so that it can actually attach to anything. So I have that there. I'm trying to move this out so that I don't have to run into here with the train. And I believe if I have this set exactly right, in the right, that's the wrong one, then I can skip past it by doing something like this. But I do have to take into account the travel from this other station here. So I think there is a certain limit it'll let you get in terms of distance away from the station, the industry before it just won't connect anymore. But I think, yeah, that's still going to be in range. So that will work. But the main problem we're going to have here is there's already a lot of tracks in this area that are not going to play nice with me here. Because I've already got this crossover thing. I may have to do... Let's see, this is 320. Let's go to 160, and I guess 2 tracks is probably fine. I may need to do a little bit of a roundy-roo solution to this. Because that'll let me build this right about here. I could then go down. You can't see where my finger's pointing, but... Let's put this here. The reason there's 2 platforms is because I'm going to have shorter trains at double the frequency going to collect the oil from here. But I'm thinking we can go down and then come up here because this is already substantially underground here by the time we go straight. Let's give it a shot. It is 40 years away. We started this playthrough, I believe, in 1950. I actually don't remember, but we're gonna try our best. For those of you asking, well, why don't you just do a diamond crossing? It's high speed. Not happening. This is... I mean, it would do it. But I don't want to create potential traffic incursions. We have this go down. So that's going to go underneath here just fine, but it's not going to want to play nice with the high-speed passenger line we have right here. Yeah, also, just please note in general, like, anyone doing this in real life would be shot. Like, this is just unbelievably stupid design. But it doesn't seem to care, and it lets me do what I want, which maybe it shouldn't, but... That's going to get me under all of this, and then I think, depending on how I want to do this, your trains are never going to go fast coming into the station anyway, so going into 50 miles per hour right here is probably okay. Then if I just get this set up there, that will connect, and that was the... Okay, we'll call that the inner loop, which means it needs to go here. Ah, you know what? This is going to have a third track, and it doesn't need this other platform, so this does want to connect there. Alright, let's, before we get too crazy here, let's just use our brains a little bit. There are also much better ways to do this in terms of utilizing single-track trunk lines and a whole bunch of signaling, and people who are a lot smarter than me are certainly welcome to try and figure that out. But right now, I'm just trying to do kind of an admittedly dumb challenge in a game that I think is a lot of fun. So that's going to take care of getting that connected. It is absolutely a mess, but it's going to work. So now this, from this oil well, has to go. Now we have 3 tracks, which we don't necessarily need, but again, We have 3 tracks that have to come all the way down and connect with this, which has to connect to this refinery here. And this is where we come back to how this is set up. So the easiest thing for us to do is going to be to get this going all the way to about maybe here-ish. Maybe I should do this first. Yeah, let's get this connected first because I'm going to have to plan the geometry around the rest of that. I got 2 tracks coming in there. I got 2 tracks coming in here. I think I can connect this to this. Then we have to fix the bridge pillars because I don't know why it defaults to the stone one from like 1850. Look how ridiculous that is. Also, it doesn't let us go maximum speed. Not that it matters anyway. 199. This goes to 199. You know, that is kind of majestic. I don't know. I don't know about the towers going out like that. That doesn't seem like it's a very stable design, but we can do that, or we can just do the, you know, the real safe cement bridge. I think that's probably the better option anyway. Tunnel, no tunnel. If I do no tunnel, then wait, that's not the no tunnel button. No, it was, and then it didn't. It just went away. I wanted to do this one to show you how stupid that looks. Yeah, that's not going to work. It does save a little bit of money, but no. This is honestly kind of stupid right here, but I'm just going to let it happen. So, if we get this popped in, I have to have everything else come in on the inside of that, which means it's going to connect somewhere outside of Billings. I'm sure these folks are not going to be real happy to have all these high-speed, well, high-speed, quote-unquote, freight trains coming by at all hours of the day and night. But that sounds like something that's not my problem. So we're going to go ahead and get that constructed. And then let's come in here. And actually, no, I need to do the closest one. There we go. I think we're going to have to come in from here and then curve around and meet up maybe right about here. And this connects 2 towns. People can drive on it. They'll complain if you take it away, but there's not really any actual consequence to doing so. But I don't want to deal with this little road because we really don't need to care about it. It's just kind of in the way. We definitely don't need that either. Because remember, we're doing trains. We don't care about roads. So I need to make sure I have enough room for 3 wide, which right there should just about get me. And again, a sane designer would, you know, not triple track this, but we got unbelievable quantities of money. And I don't think it really matters. So, let's see, that is far right. There we go. This has to get joined up with the bridge. And I don't want it to switch into the bridge. I want it to be adjacent to the bridge on not that side. I don't know why it is insistent on doing this. Which I want this to be on the other side of the bridge. I don't think it's going to let me. What about if I come up all the way to over here? No, 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 no. Go to the inside, not the outside. Okay, so it's... I don't think that is going to... I don't think that's going to be possible. I did not play the old Super Nintendo SimCity. I have played SimCity Classic, or I guess at that point in time it was just called SimCity. But no, I did not ever play that, unfortunately. I think I can maybe this needs to go further out this way to give us a fighting chance. I think it does. All right. Well, those of you who came out to this stream knew what you're getting yourselves into. We're just going to be spending a lot of time doing some kind of stupid stuff. But that's the way it goes. All right, so now this we don't need to adhere to the 186 mile per hour thing. The fastest freight we can do is 99. So I think if we get a little bit of height coming up the hill here, then that might actually want to connect appropriately. Let's leave this, and then come up to, say, here. See, now this lets me do this. 95. I do want that to be at 99. So let's have that come out to 100. There we go. But actually, no, it says 98. The inner tracks are going to be slightly tighter radius, so I want to make sure. No, see, this is not gonna play nice. All right, here's what we're gonna have to do. I'm gonna have to do this. We're going to have to bring this out a little bit and then delete this so I can start from the viaduct that already exists, which is that piece right there. And that is a tunnel. It was smart enough to do that, at the very least. That's removed there. Let's see what this is going to allow me to do if I connect here to here. Alright, obviously it can't be that thing. That's 117, 115. I think that's going to work. I think that will do. The people driving their private cars on my dirt road I haven't upgraded the entirety of the game can cry about it. They can wait for the train. So I need to get another 2 lines. We're going to have a 4-track huge viaduct because why not? Nobody said I couldn't do it. Well, maybe one of you might have said I couldn't do it, but I digress. Get me out of here. No, I do have passengers. I know where you're going. I know where you're going with that. 131. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Teens in this town would sneak onto this viaduct and herbal enthusiasm, I guess we'll call it. do all their activities. Need to make sure I don't get told I can't do this by the game. There are also achievements for having certain quantities of bridge track, tunnels, high-speed track, so on and so forth. And I can't remember if I've gotten all of them. Anyway, I guess if you wanted to be super realistic in this game, the explanation you could give for why you're spending so much money on this is because it's for oil, which we all know is the only thing that matters. So, bring this all the way around across here. No, it wants to merge it again. There we go. I hope I don't run into issues with those logs there. I don't think I will. That's maintained the same type of track. That's good. Okay, this isn't wanting to adhere here. Alright, I guess I have to... Oh, there's a field there that's going to be removed. Unfortunate. Now, why is this not attaching to the other tracks here? Does the game hate me that much? Does it not want me to have incredibly stupid things here? Or maybe it's just because we have the road underneath. It doesn't like that. Is this the right one? Yes. Okay. I guess it must just be the road. Alright, well, we need to make sure we don't allow... What in the world is happening here? Oh, I hope that fixes itself, because that looks ugly. Wait a minute. This isn't even attached to the rest. Okay, we're going to have to fix that. We are going to have to fix that. What'd you do on Sunday afternoon? I watched some insane guy on YouTube play with stupid viaducts the whole time. Did this merge my tracks? It absolutely did. It absolutely did. Who do you think you are? Well, that explains our weird bridge pillars. I'll tell you what, I'm shocked. I'm shocked that this game would do this to me. Is this now... No, there's... Oh, all the way across here? No, 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 no. No, we can't. We cannot let this stand. That is absolutely not going to work. We have to you know, we have to do this the right way. Am I using this farm? I am not. Okay. Oh, this is a nightmare. You feel seen with that comment? I bet you do. What am I going to do about this? This is all the oh no, all the way back to here. This is a unmitigated disaster. I need to have the leftmost one removed. I cannot tell. I guess it's this one? Yeah. See, this gets really difficult to parse when they're right on top of each other. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try. Alright, so this widens right around here. That makes it a little easier. You know, we have to have all of our fossil fuel stuff, so now at the very least I can bring the outside around. Make sure it's all the same pylons, which it is. And then I can connect this to here, thankfully. So I'm imagining this is probably okay, the second one here. The reason why the game is still paused, because I know someone's going to ask, is because I'm trying to save this oil well, which is currently marked for abandonment if I don't use it. Okay, the field has to go away. That's fine. I wasn't going to use it anyway. Just need to make sure this is attached. And it is. So away we go, spending millions and millions and millions upon millions of dollars constructing a 4-track main line for oil refineries. Alright, and that's going to bring us around to here. I don't think we're going to have any speed issues, but we do need to actually get the rest of these tracks put in. So what I'm going to end up having to do is these inside 2 tracks, remember, or not the inside 2 tracks, these, okay, well, it is the inside 2 tracks, it's just from the wrong perspective. These 2 go to the same oil well. So what I want is for the innermost track, when we get all 4 of them out, the innermost track gets its own platform, and the ones in between share one. I could have just made another platform, but I kind of didn't want to deal with that, so we're not going to worry about it. So this is the one that gets its own platform. I could have also just had one of these outbound platforms share, but I don't think I want to do that. Right, so this middle one right here comes up right against this other thing. It still is an acceptable speed. And then when we get to about here, these are going to merge because they share a platform. And I just have to make sure this switch goes. If I can get it to do 99 miles per hour, that'd be great, but I don't think it's going to matter. 85, 75, you're not going to be going that fast coming into the station anyway, so that's fine. Let's bring this all the way around here. And then this is the one that gets its own platform, which I can do just like that. I maybe shouldn't have had the kink in there, but this music is way too cheerful. Let's if I don't have to have this attached here. Alright. I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. I know. I can tell you are writhing in pain and agony of watching me do this over and over and over. We're gonna have this come all the way across here. Paired up nicely. That's already diverted, didn't it? Okay. Okay, that's why, because it had separate catenary. No? Was it further back? I guess it probably was. Anyway, I want this to be as close as possible until the very, very end, because I need this one to not go down to 75 miles per hour. And then this here is going to have to divert probably right around here. Yeah, we can make that work. We can make that work. And then I know we've been doing this a long time. Appreciate your patience. We've got this piece that I can attach to this guy because I want the tracks to meet. There we go. Now this is the one I have to merge in, which means I can come all the way back to here and then attach it to this. And then I just have to get that to go in there. Okay, is this going to be... Yes. Construction not possible. What? What do you mean it's not possible? Okay, well, 71, 75, that'll be okay. That is where we find ourselves. Now, I'm going to have to signalize this on this end. We'll come out to here and to here. So that way they can't go into the platform unless there's already a clear space waiting for them. The rest of it does not matter. All right, so this is so stupid. This is how we get 3 oil wells all the way over here. And now we just have to have a single track, which of course... No, I don't want that there. Single track, which has to go into this track on the far left. And one of these two, probably this one, too much slope. Why is it too much slope? Is it trying to... Ah. Okay, so we know we're going to have to do an overcrossing here. This is why we test this. So I think if I come in from this angle and have this just stay straight like so, I should be able to get where I want to go. Is that lined up? It'll do. It'll work. Now, what I don't want is I don't want this to dip. I also kind of don't want this, but all I need is for it to do the minimum required. No, one of these is micro adjustments. It's shift. Okay. So that's all I can do with this, is just have this come up to this exact... No. Come up to this exact point, and then I think if I just go across, if I can get this to attach... No. It's very, very temperamental about what it's going to connect to. There we go. I just need to get this to go directly across. I don't need it to go down that much. But I do not want it to be a stupid thing. Is this going straight enough? I think it'll be okay. So now from here, all I have to do is connect to, like I said, this guy. And as long as our slope doesn't look bad. You know, honestly, I maybe could have made it a little smoother, but we'll take it. That's a very stupid short tunnel. It's okay, because I've got infinite money. All right, so now that gets that connected to the fuel refinery. Where do we go from the fuel refinery? We go to the hub, and the hub is this absolute mess over here. Now, I have how many tracks? I've got 2 tracks that are not connected to anything. That would be great for us to get fuel put into. And I could go underground, come kind of around like this, and then sweep into this side, or... I don't think I have any extra tracks available here. I don't want to build another station. I feel like that's going to be a... problem. So what I probably need to do... If I move both of these tracks to connect here, I can slide another one in this way. If I'm very careful. Honestly, I kind of should shift all of these, but I feel like that's going to be a big problem. Unless I just do shared platforms when I fix the routing, I guess that probably would do it. Alright, that is... I think that's what I'm going to do. Where does this go anyway? This is a double track going to Miramar and Concord. Okay. Yeah, that's how I had to set that up, isn't it? I don't know why I merged this into a single thing. I was just trying to conserve all of that. This actually would go straight across a lot nicer with a different type of crossing there. All right, boys and girls. This is gonna be some really stupid stuff. But I do appreciate you guys humoring me here. Because I don't think there's any other major industries I'm going to have to splice in from that side. Oh, good. YouTube emailed me to let me know I'm live. Thanks. I had no idea. I don't know why they always do this. All right. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to remove these. And then I think I can probably just redraw from this point over here. In fact, I'll do that. Let's just get rid of that. 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 That seems about right. I feel like that can draw a pretty good path between here and here, although I will give it a little bit more space. Okay, so this one connects to that track. We don't want the stone bridge. Why do you default to the stone bridge? Nobody cares about the stone bridge. That will work for $715,000. If only real-life infrastructure was that cheap. Okay. So that takes care of that path. That's good. Now I've got these two, and we're going to break a lot of stuff, folks, but this will connect here. We'll just move this across to there. I need to make sure that's what side of this would come up from. Where is this the fuel refinery? It is. So that would come up from here, and it would go... Well, I also could go this way, but... You know what? Going north out of this, actually. This is the direction this way that I've been calling north this whole time. That might actually work. Which would give me the ability to come into here. Yeah, you know what? That's what I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I have to have this actually usable. All right, so that has broken this train. Train 39. It does not have the ability to connect in Beaverburg proper. So I need to come in here and find a new platform. It looks like platform 2 or platform 1. How does it... Maybe it is platform 1. Do these join at any point? I can't remember what I've done. They do. Okay. We'll call that... Because I do have to have the one going up to Concord. Yeah, Concord will be track... No, it does not, because this just has to go here. Oh, you know what I did is I made this a passing track, so I don't actually need to. That's why it did that. I know it's pretty bad, huh? I'm the one that designed it. I can't even remember. So we will go track 1. That is very fine and okay, and then I can actually get this to merge into here. I know there's a maximum length that's going to want you to do like a merge or a crossover or whatever. So that's fine. I'll put the signal back in place. Why did nobody tell me about that? Poor construction workers having all their hard work bulldozed just rebuilding. And yeah, that's got to be agony. Got to be absolutely infuriating. So now I have to get this connected. This road here does not connect to another town. Therefore, it's gone. We do not care. Now I've got on this track, I'm not going to build it like this, but I have to connect it to... See, it's not even going to want to let me do it. It's how stupid it thinks my plan is. But if I were to go... If I could keep this at 99 or higher, let's go for 101. If I could get this to go underground, which we're at the top of a hill, it's probably not viable. Or maybe New York wants the stupid huge oil viaduct train. That's, you know, that is an option. That is always an option. I do like this this ironwork here, and I can make one, but it doesn't look that great when they're separated like that. That's the stone one. We'll just go back to the cement bridge. So that's going to get us most of the, actually, yeah, most of the way around. If I come out to here, you know, what's going on here? What's going on here? All that overtime. Yeah, that's why it costs so much money to build infrastructure in the United States. It's all the overtime. It's not true. There are many reasons why. This is... Ugh. Oh, I don't like this. We're gonna have to do this in segments to try and preserve sanity. That's not gonna... Okay. Let's see, is that any better? No. Do I want to? No, I do not. Okay, let's just try to lower this enough to where this is gonna clear the catenary. Because it doesn't need to be a ton of space. But I know if I leave it like that, it's gonna bug me. Okay, so there is still technically space. Let's try that. Still space. Let's do 2 more. That is about as close as you're gonna get. The bridge is gonna fall down? Yeah, maybe. But for right now, that's not our problem. Alright. Let's build that. And let's come around here. I want that to go back down to ground level if it can. Which it seems like that is going to work. And then I think from that point, I'm going to want it to go underground. Let's just do this. And then I just need it to connect over to this spot right here. Now, it's not going to let me do it because it's too much slope, bridge, pillar, collision, and collision. If we change bridges, that does not get rid of bridge, pillar, collision. We also do not want that. Just straight up do not want. So, I'm going to have to drag this back to about here. That is a tunnel. That's going to go in there. Let's just check our height. Oh, it came out. Okay, we can work with that as long as I've got space to come in here. Yeah, okay. We can't collide with the iron mine. Oh, that's coal. We can't collide with the coal mine just in case we need coal later from that spot. If I come all the way down here, that's going to make another tunnel. We don't necessarily want or need another tunnel. That comes out of the hillside. You know what? Actually, on the side of the landscape here, that looks kind of nice. That is that's acceptable. All right, cool. $3 million. Now let's bring this down here and try to connect directly to this. And that, oh, I don't want 56. Come on. Come on. Why are you like this? Okay, that's obscene. That is truly ridiculous. Let's not do that. Let's just bring this back down to earth here. Maybe I should, why is this going up? That should not be going up. I'm gonna have to segment the heck out of this, aren't I? Yeah, it looks like it. Looks like it. Let's do that. This does not need to be a bridge, except the game thinks it does, so I guess that's what we're doing. We can leave space here. In the unlikely event we can actually use this, we'll do that. What's that going to do to the bridge? Okay, don't care. That's fine. Now, at long last, we can mercifully bring this over here, fix our bridge, and finally have more oil, more fuel, whatever you want to call it, all connected. That only took us how long? Scenic oil train. You know, engineers are people too. I'm sure they would love to have a scenic vista as they're sitting there, you know, hitting the alerter reset every 30 seconds. Let's see. Now we have to hook all of this up. So let's start with, we'll go from the hub or not the hub, from the thing to the thing. Very scientific. We're going to call this fuel refinery 2 to the hub. I know that's not my naming convention for absolutely everything, but that is the way it goes. I just want to be able to actually hook things up. So now we have oil refinery 2 to fuel refinery 2. Refinery, not refiner. Refiner. Good God. There we go. So that goes there to there, and now I've got to connect all of these. So we're going to call this number 1 to, there we go. This will be slightly easier for us to deal with. Naming it this way. So we call that oil refinery 2 feed 2, and then oil refinery 2 feed 3. There we go. Unnecessary infrastructure, but it's fine. Now the really fun part is getting trains to all of this, which thankfully the way that I've had these tracks set up is not going to be too terribly difficult. It will be if I don't remember which stuff to hook it up to. Let's go here. It doesn't necessarily need to be high speed, but it makes it easier if it is. Don't care if it's slow, it's going to be alright. This can go there. That is hideous, but it's okay. Alright, so now this one thing is connected to all of these. They all require the same type of train, except this one needs 2 trains that are half as long. I could not tell you for the life of me what that length is. Okay, dash 8s, E60Cs go 99, dash 8s go 75. I think you can do the math. These, they got 75,000 pounds of tractive effort, which should be enough for oil at least. Long distance, it can get up to speed, no problem. Now, I think... See, I wish I had my my train lengths here. Let's try this. Let's do the 200 capacity, and then assign this to not... Where is refinery 2? Did I... Oh, it's oil refinery. I'm sorry. Feed 1, feed 2, feed 3. Feed 2 and feed 3. Did I... Did I do this wrong? Let's check our pathing here. As it should... Or maybe it's not going to show the out and back because of how I have my signals set up. Oh, I'm going to have 2 separate lines for that. I'm going to have 2 separate lines for that. Alright, let's... I know. We're going to have to have feed 2.5. And that's going to go on... Did it automatically assign platform 2? It did! Okay. Well, you know what? That's good. Oil refinery 2, feed 2.5. Pay no attention to the fact that it's below the number 3. That's what we had to do this whole time. Alright. So feed 3, if we come back in here... That's what we wanted. I want this to go to feed 3. Because I want this to go through here first so that I can see what kind of length we're working with. Okay, feed... No, 2.5 and 3 are not supposed to be the same thing. Did I do this wrong again? Man, tell you what, I'm not having a good time here. I need the green one first. That's what I need, I need the green one. Here we go again. Where is it? Okay, the green one is feed 1. That's good. I just need this to, tell me... That's not it. I need this to tell me what kind of length I'm working with. Can the refinery train get to the hub connected from the depot, or do you need the junction to link the tracks just for the train delivery? That's what this is for. Should be fine. Oh, we can go so much longer than this. Okay, 200. Let's go to 300. 300 is still enough length. Okay. Can I go 340? I can. 340 is probably about as long as I can possibly go. I want to now clone this twice, but this does not need to go to Oil Refinery 2. This needs to go to my brain is trying as hard as it can. Oil Refinery to Fuel Refinery. Is that the one I already... No, okay. And then train 49 needs to go to the hub, which is Oil Refinery... No, I didn't. I didn't even follow my own naming convention. What am I doing? Where in the world? Or is it fuel? Okay, I think that's what I put. Fuel Refinery 2 to hub. That's what it needs to be attached to, and then we figure out the shorter ones as time goes by. I just need this to go. Yep, that's going there, and then it should have another one. Oh, that's what you were asking. Okay, you know what? You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. This needed to be hooked up here. There we go. Thank you very much. Sorry, I'm obtuse. Yeah, Kurt would have a field day with this stuff, man. Now, this isn't going to send this one out until it's cleared that track. And it may not, actually. Okay, so new plan. Because of the way this is single-tracked, this needs to be set on... What train is this? Train 48? This needs to be set to go to the fuel one to the hub. Because that track is not going to be clear if this is just shuttling back and forth. So now this is going to be an interesting problem. I'm going to have to wait for this train to come out once this is gone, and then this is going to have to be reassigned to the other one after the track is cleared. Then I also have to make sure I'm not going to lose my oil well I just spent all this time building to. So we should have this one coming out now, right? I see it. How are we doing on... Okay, it went away. The thing went away because it's actually producing. That's good. Now, I should... There it is. Okay, now, this has to be changed. Instead of doing the fuel refinery to the hub... Oh, which one is this? Which one is this? Okay, 48's the one that I want to go. 49 is the one that has to go instead to the oil refinery 2, fuel refinery 2. I'm sure there's a better way to do this. I just don't know what it is. Before it hits the switch. Or I guess it doesn't matter because it has to go on that track anyway. Alright. After all that... No. If it blocked his messages, it would show me the blocked message. He's not here. How much? Okay, it's only half full. That's fine. So now I need... Feed 2 needs a full-length train. And I unfortunately don't think I have... No, it's not still here. But it was 300 and... Was it 320 or 340? I think it was 340. This now needs to go to feed 2. And then I need to rename... See, the game got it right. I just named it wrong. This needs to be 3.5, not 2.5. So, provided I've done this correctly. We are, in fact, making progress. I hope I got the length of the train right. Yep, 340 it is. Let's just make sure this goes on the correct track. It already looks like it is. Well, yeah, because you haven't heard that because, you know, Kurt's not here. Look at that tunnel box. Look how huge that is. Neat. Yeah, this is completely ridiculous. In the best possible way. I love this. Oh, that pillar is so close to that other track too. We're gonna have to deal with that. I'm sure the folks in Billings here are not too keen on all this noise. This is what the game is meant for? I mean, maybe. I've seen people do actual serious playthroughs of this, and it's been really impressive. I unfortunately am not one of those people. I don't have the functional knowledge of urban planning or any of that kind of stuff to make this that interesting of a thing. 2.5 needs to become 3.5. And then I need a half-length train, so let's start, if at 340 was too much, let's go to, not 180. No, 180 too much. 160. It's like halfway in between. Let's do this, and let's set that on 3. And then we are going to have to inspect platform length. Oh, I have Train Simulator. I'm not really good at it, but I do own it. Wasn't the first City Skylines basically built off a transport simulation? Technically, yes, but I don't know that it can really be simplified that much. But they had previously released a game called Cities in Motion, a couple different games under that title, and I had played that before. It does share some of the functionality with it, but from my understanding, the first City Skylines was less of a direct sequel and more of a spiritual successor to that. But they're very, very similar in terms of design language and UI and all that. Now we're going to see if this is the correct length for that platform, and if it is, then we'll make another one with length 180, or 160, I think it was. Yep, slow down to 50. Come in here. That is the perfect length. All right. Good deal. Good deal. We're making stuff work. Now let's buy another one of those and set that on oil refinery 2 feet 3.5. Yeah, I, as a kid, liked playing Flight Sim. I didn't really have a computer that could properly run it, ever. Like, it'd get pretty close, but it'll always be at 20 FPS and so on and so forth. But I did buy, when the new one came out, 2020, I did get that on Game Pass. I don't think I actually bought it, but you could play it on Game Pass. And I had what I considered at that point in time to be a pretty good computer. Could not run it. It was very disappointing. Red exclamation point is people complaining that I took away their roads so they would have to ride my trains. And then this, for whatever reason, this gives this warning, but the trains are running, so it doesn't seem like it's actually a problem. Yeah, you know, the thing that number 2 has really upset me, because what it does well, it does extremely well. I really like the visual design language, and I feel like overall, from a UI perspective, it is so much better than the first game. And the design of everything that they've done, it's really, really good. But the game just doesn't work. I have no idea how people like City Planner Plays can even tolerate it. It just, basic stuff just does not work. And it runs really poorly, and it's deeply upsetting. I pre-ordered the Ultimate Edition. I paid $90 for that. And they still have not released everything that they promised was going to be there at launch. 2.5 years. That's obscene. Iceflake, as far as I can tell, Iceflake's doing their best. They're trying really hard to fix a lot of problems and have a dialogue with the community, and I really appreciate that. But I don't think I can ever stream it again or do videos on it. There's just too much it's broken. Yeah, I was very excited for the sequel after seeing, which now I know these people were paid big money to say this, but After seeing all the major City Skylines YouTube people saying, "Oh yeah, I had the chance to play it in advance and it's great, it's so much better," like, you were bought and paid for. Like, really? Where's your integrity? But whatever. That's part of the reason why I really don't like doing sponsored videos, and I probably will never do them on this channel in terms of products or games I have not already played and really liked. It's deeply upsetting. It is what it is, but it's just basic stuff on the second game that is either really poorly designed in terms of mechanics, ignored entirely, or simple things like I should not be living in fear of doxing myself anytime I pause the game on stream, because it puts my full name on the pause screen because that's my Paradox account. Why can't I change that? That's ridiculous. Yeah, I'm not going to be pre-ordering any more games ever. It's just not happening. I do still watch City Planner Plays and Canadian Moose and a couple other folks who do make City Skylines content. But man, the magic is just gone for me. It's become just depressingly stupid. All right. Miramar wants over 1,000 fuel. Okay, hold on. We got to figure out why. Okay, so this is the main train. There's substantial. That's why these are huge. There's substantial demand for what these guys are doing. I've got 2 trains. We need to upgrade these. First of all, see, we had 6 boxcars, 2 tank cars. Let's just directly replace those. 4, 5, 6. 2 tank cars. I know that's not going to give us a huge amount of additional capacity for fuel, so I'm going to go 6 tank cars as well. I hope that fits. It should. Yes, actually. Good, because this is, there's so much fuel that they want to get. That's about all they can do, is just sit here and wait. So I guess we can monitor this, see how the situation unfolds. Corona now demands food. They already demanded food. Yeah, there's still over 1,000 backlog there, but that's, you know, construction material too. Okay, what train is going to Corona? Where is Corona? Is that down here? Yes. Alright, so my Corona train here. Oh! No, wait, that's not the right train. Where's my cargo going to Corona? Here. Okay, where's my train? Mixed freight. This needs to be dealt with. 4 tank cars, 4 box cars. Okay, so they can actually do that. These have 2 compartments each that should help solve that problem. We'll keep an eye on this. Yeah, at this point, reviews are fundamentally useless because so many people are getting games for free and for whatever reason feeling like they don't need to be objective in how they analyze something. And I don't know. As someone who did study journalism in college before things got incredibly, horribly stupid in that field, they were, to be clear, they were already very stupid, but I started in about 2015 with that. I think you can put 2 and 2 together. But there was a huge emphasis in my courses placed on journalistic integrity, where you have to be able to separate personal opinions from objective facts, and especially from outside influence in terms of who's funding you. Apparently that's no longer a thing, and that's, well, it's part of the reason why I'm doing this. But these quote-unquote game journalists who get free stuff from these companies and pretend like they're providing some sort of unbiased stuff. If you look, whoever writes the check holds all the power. If you are getting paid by somebody to give an opinion on something they have given you, it is impossible for you to give an objective opinion. Even if you try really hard, it's going to be impossible. Like, it's tainted. It's already... That's why you have these people who do Patreons to do independent stuff, so they don't have to take the money from the companies for who make the products they're reviewing. They're like some of the last people on the internet who have even some sort of shred of integrity in terms of giving opinions on things. Or I think a really good example of this is Project Farm. If you watch his videos, he buys all the stuff himself. He does not take sponsorships or whatever from any of these companies to evaluate their products. He just goes and buys it, and he tests it. Is his methodology super sound? Not necessarily, but he's at least not being paid to tell you that something is good. He's telling you based on his own experience with whatever research he's done. Cyberpunk I thought was a good game. I never finished it. I played the first half of the campaign, then I stopped because I was playing too much Satisfactory. I didn't have time for it anymore. But I never really had any big issues with Cyberpunk. Right, and that's a problem when the entire review economy, quote unquote, is based on maintaining positive relationships with manufacturers who provide you with free samples of things. And then in automotive journalism too, you have press cars, and then you have independent people like Doug DeMuro and all them, but they're still getting press cars from these manufacturers, and the manufacturers expect them to not pan the product. But at this point, he's big enough that he can get away with doing it. But just your random like little small guys, no. You give a bad review of something and then you're just going to get ghosted. Yeah, and then the whole this is a product I actually use and enjoy, and like you can see it in their eyes, they absolutely hate that thing, but they're getting paid a big amount of money to promote it to you. Like, look, dude, just tell me, hey, these folks wrote me a fat check and I got bills to pay, so just tolerate the next 30 seconds of a spiel. Like, all right, I can respect the honesty there, but like, don't lie to me and say this is your favorite product ever. It's objectively awful. Or those, oh god, especially BetterHelp. That makes me so mad. Talking about all these like bad things that have happened to them, but like, oh, they really helped me. Like, everything I have ever heard about BetterHelp from someone who has not been paid to promote that company is terrible. Mental health is not a joke. It is not a game. You cannot monetize that for your personal benefit and lie to people about how good something is. That is despicable behavior. And that is why I'm never going to promote them. Only exception was Jeremy Clarkson revealing a Tesla. Okay. Top Gear is fun. Top Gear is fun. They got BBC money. Well, not anymore because they canceled the show with those guys and then brought it back with other people. But I think Top Gear is one of those kind of middle ground things where it's, over time it became less and less about, like, say, compared to something like Motor Week, for those of us in the U.S. Motor Week started as an objective automotive journalist publication. It's I think it was somewhere in Maryland, like Maryland Public Broadcasting or something funded most of it. But they would get press cars. They do the 0 to 60 test. They do the moose test, the slalom test, and they do all this other stuff. And they present you with objective facts about the cars. And then, the guy would give you his opinion on it. That's automotive journalism from going all the way back to I think it was early 80s maybe. Maybe a little bit earlier than that. And then over time, Top Gear kind of morphed into more of an entertainment thing, which they'd still give you a lot of information about the cars. And those three guys knew what they're doing. They're incredibly intelligent, very informed, educated, and experienced people. That doesn't mean what they're doing is bad. I really enjoyed Top Gear, but it was not objective, like, unimpeachable journalistic integrity. But you know what, it is what it is. Now I can finally watch. You haven't tried Marry Me Chicken? I highly suggest it. Like, the recipe for the food, somebody suggested I make that a long time ago, and I said, yeah, I'll try that, and then I never did. Now I feel bad. I have to find that. I had that saved somewhere. Let's see. What if you make a career of giving bad product reviews if the competition pays you? Okay, that's worse. That's worse. First of all, we need to establish that. That is, I mean, there's being a shill, and then there's being a shameless opportunist for just dogging on somebody else's thing that you haven't even used. Like, don't do that. I mean, if that's your value set, then I can't stop you. But I could not sleep at night if I did that. A lot of those paychecks are 80 to 150,000 for one ad. If you have a big enough following, yes. The amount of money that I've been offered for some of those kind of ads is nowhere close. Like not even out of triple digits for most of that. But I've turned all those down except one. When Mechanistry offered to sponsor a couple of episodes for one of the Timberborn series. And I've been playing the game for 3 years at that point. Of course I'm going to do a sponsorship on it. I was happy to do it because I genuinely love the game, obviously. And that was the only paid sponsorship on this channel that I've ever actually received payment for. We'll say that. There was one more. They did not pay me. But that's fine. We don't need to go into that. Disarrayer has gifted 10 memberships. Thank you very much for supporting the channel, supporting me. Hope you're having a good day. Mike, last name I'm not going to read out loud because it's going to demonetize my stream, but I know who you are. 8809. James Brophy, Rat Orgy 3814, Miles Connor 2567, Mark Moulton 7678, House Greystone 5335, Eric 26091991. Okay. I'm trying to figure out now if that's a... Wait a minute. If that's your birthday, you were born 3 days before I was. We're age buddies. Okay. Oh, there's no spaces in the names, and I can't tell what this is supposed to be parsed as. Carol van Mosveld, I think? Yeah, that sounds right. Carol van Mosveld, 6656, Tartarus 3226, and Skeep, receiving on behalf of Disarrayer. Thank you very much. Once again, appreciate you as always. Going back to Top Gear, you know their bias was electric cars are evil. Well, okay, well, also consider the environment. Yes, that's objectively, that's the angle they were going for. But consider the environment in the early 2000s when they made that. And the whole thing, we're going to make our own electric car, name it Jeff. The only fully electric cars available at that time were basically golf carts. And there had been a couple attempts in the 70s and the 80s and the 90s to do full electric cars, and everybody knows the story with the GM EV1, which, by the way, if you have not seen, Jared with the Questionable Garage, and I think there's a couple other channels doing videos on it, are chronicling the restoration of an EV1 that they legally obtained from a vehicle impound auction, and GM has agreed to help them and give them parts and stuff, which is really cool to see. But that's beside the point. The electric car industry, I guess we could say, in the early 2000s was basically vaporware, right? You had these companies that said, oh, we're going to have this full electric car that's going to have 400-mile range and it'll do this and that and the other. No, the technology didn't exist. The full electric cars from the 70s and the 80s were objectively just awful pieces of equipment. But the technology existed. Even if it was bad, the proof of concept was there. Was it practical? No. Was it objectively high quality? Absolutely not. But the technology was there, and they're putting in work to improve it. But at the time Top Gear made it, then of course it wasn't good. And it makes good TV if you have something that's just so laughably horrible that it's just completely hilarious television. Like, obviously that's why they're going to do that. Electric cars now, a little bit better. Still, you know, the perfect solution? No. Because all it does is eliminate tailpipe emissions, and you still have the biggest danger to public health. It's all the microplastics that come off of the tires, and that's the electric cars are heavier, so guess what? That means more of those. But it's a step. It's a technology that's continually progressing, and at some point, it'll be viable, and it'll make sense for a lot more applications. I don't really think it's a good thing for the average person at this point in time, but there are definitely applications now where it does make sense. If you don't have to travel very long distances constantly, if you're just going around in town, delivery vehicles have already proven to be very good for that, assuming they're maintained, and the people who draw the routes aren't insane and force you to do way too much stuff. But it makes sense. Just not for absolutely everything. Do construction materials go in a different type of car? They go on a flat car, which means I need to stop talking about all this and put flat cars on this train. Thank you for keeping me honest, as always. Transport Fever 2 is on sale for 80% off. Yes, that's what I'm playing. The third one is coming out at some point. I don't know when that is. Why is this waiting for a free path? Well, I wish I could see it. What path is this waiting for? Is that waiting to come into town or leave town? It's not showing me. Yeah, because this is all just one. It's all just one track. So that makes me feel like there's an expectation up here that there's something in the way. It's just one. Is it because this was not signalized? Oh, I had those both set here. All right, let's try that. Because I have that shared with what? Oh, the building materials. Okay, that's right. I'm glad we cut that. Seem to watch a lot of the same channels I do. Yeah, we probably 90% of us in here watch the same, like, pool of 50 channels. Oh yeah, cargo ships, the raw bunker fuel. That stuff's horrible for the environment. But, you know, as long as industry isn't being held accountable for pollutions in the military especially, nothing's going to change. Like, individual contributions matter, yes. But you're not going to make any difference as long as they're just literally pumping poison into the atmosphere completely unchecked. I would argue with you about EVs being viable for long road trips, but only if you have no time constraints to patiently charge. Okay, and okay, I do hear you on that. I'm not trying to say that they're completely useless for that, but in terms more of, like, say, long-haul trucking, which I know was a thing at one point Tesla was trying to do. I haven't seen anything about it in the past couple of years. I think the guy in charge of it was busy doing other things, but that's all we need to go as far as that. The problem with the long-haul trucking with the battery is you cannot charge a battery that big fast enough for it to be an economical advantage over having an internal combustion diesel truck. If you could swap battery packs entirely, then okay, sure. But then you have to make more batteries, and they're incredibly expensive to make. You have to have batteries available at whatever stop the truck gets to swap it immediately. And you have to be able to keep that going. And those also take time to charge. So you'd have to have some order of magnitude greater quantity of batteries available than you have trucks on the road. But it absolutely could work. Or you put catenary on the highways and give the trucks pantographs. It worked for streetcars. Could definitely do that. But again, it's a matter of what kind of expenses the general public is going to tolerate paying for in terms of highway subsidies, loss of gas tax revenue, all these other things. There's a bunch of moving parts that unfortunately are not ever going to be able to be reconciled 100% satisfactorily for everybody involved. Wife is dragging me shopping. We'll leave your stream going. Well, I appreciate it. Have fun. Yeah, also batteries in the cold, really not working. But if you're interested in this, highly recommend checking out Edison Motors, China, good lord, Canadian company, starts with a C, that's fine, Canadian company that is making diesel-electric hybrid trucks. And they're working on developing different things for that, to where it's essentially, the truck is electric. It works the same way as a diesel-electric locomotive for freight trains, or passenger trains, I guess, technically, too, but where the wheels are driven by traction motors. The traction motors get their power from a battery bank, and in Edison Motors' case, what they're trying to do is have it so that that battery bank can be charged by a generator. But the generator would just be like, you know, a regular truck diesel engine, but it would be optimized to run at a specific RPM so it has maximum efficiency and doesn't have to bear the load of driving the wheels. So in theory, you can get a lot more efficiency out of your vehicle, and it could be reliable in the cold because the batteries could be kept warm by the diesel generator, and it's a lot more stable, a lot more of a best of both worlds kind of scenario versus only diesel or only electric. And I like what they're doing. Also, right to repair, they're big fans of, and I do appreciate that. Yep, electric buses are good in theory unless it gets really, really cold. Or if you have trackless trolleys, some places call them, I forget what the correct term is, but buses, battery electric buses with pantographs, where you can get either pantographs or trolley poles, whatever the term is. You can get power from an overhead wire so that you have delivery regardless of whether or not it's too cold for batteries to work. Those electric trains work just fine in the freezing cold. Ask Japan. Ask Switzerland. Ask Germany, except maybe Germany's not the best example for timely train networks at this point. Anyway, you've unlocked the transportation rant, so I hope you guys are okay with that. Hydrogen doesn't have a great density yet. Hydrogen is kind of complicated. I feel like there's more information about that I need to learn before giving a really informed opinion about it. But I don't, based on what I have seen, I would not believe that is a huge improvement over internal combustion, but could possibly be a good stopgap if you don't want to invest the money in electric infrastructure. Compressed natural gas, I know, has been in city buses for a very long time, and some other commercial vehicles. Okay, that is a hilarious comparison about the EVs fixed grid. Thank you. Yeah. There's so many different use cases for cars, trucks, buses, whatever, that there's never going to be a one-size-fits-all solution for absolutely everybody. But if you have options, and you have good options, you have viable options, you can pick what's going to work best for you, and hopefully that's something you're able to do instead of just saying, well, you have to buy this specific internal combustion car, and if you have a 3-hour commute every day, too bad, gas is expensive, sucks to be you. Well, no, because that's a situation where you wouldn't want that. You'd want other options, but you have to have options. Yep, language on, again, I don't want to open the can of worms that is individual politics, but be very careful what people in power will tell you, because it's almost always not true. You have to read the legislation that they're trying to pass. Yes. At any rate, I believe we can consider the Corona mixed freight problem solved. Train 39 that I should have named, but I'm not going to now because it would take me too long to name all the trains. I was supposed to be watching this to see if the fuel ever calmed down. One of these was over 1,000 fuel, I think, dedicated to going into this. Doesn't seem like that's a problem. But that's filling up nicely. Port St. Lucie Mixed Freight Express has 942 building materials. So maybe we should manage fix this train. That needs clearly more capacity for bricks. So we have 6 boxcars and 2 of these. Let's just replace those. Oh, I got that wrong. I needed 6 boxcars, not 4. And then I'm going to put 4 flat cars. That's what I was attempting to do. We'll see if that calms down. Yep, Gary 1, Gary 2, Gary 3. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is a fantastic movie. It's so good. Yeah, so we're gonna watch this 990 to go down. I don't think there's anything else that's that big on any of these. If you do have a big number, that's usually an indication of a bottleneck, but most of this looks okay. Hollywood Mixed Freight. Hollywood Mixed Freight's a mess. Oh, the big boy's not good enough, huh? Unfortunate. Can I still make a big boy? I cannot, so I shouldn't get rid of those. Vancouver wants machines. Well, you know what? They're going to have to wait like everybody else. Okay, this is actually full on this. So 5 of these is not enough, so we'll put 5 or maybe 6 flat cars of the new type. Yeah, we'll do 6 of those. But the rest of this seems to be okay. Okay, well, now they've gotten rid of all of it. 7 of these, I'm going to put... No, I don't want to get rid of the big boy. 7 of those, not going to translate evenly to... Oh, now we get the P42. In 2005, they had those way before 2005. I guess technically the P40 was like 93. Most of those are converted to P42s. I guess maybe in 2005. Who knows? Anyway. This might be too long of a train. We're going to examine it. Why do I keep getting spam calls? This is so annoying. Hi, this is name withheld. Oh, actually, never mind. This is a charity trying to take care of people that need help. All right, now I feel bad. But most of these text messages are I've been trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty or your loan application. I haven't applied for loans. I'm not going to. That actually almost barely fits. Cool. So we're full on building materials, and we're using compartments for everything else except plastics, which that's only showing up because we haven't filled the other compartments. Okay, that problem has been solved. Who is it that wanted machines? Is it Vancouver? Yes. So Vancouver is not getting tools. They're not getting machines. Where is the Vancouver freight train? Is this Vancouver? Yes. Well, that's the wrong button. That is not going to cut the mustard, obviously. Let's do 4. Let's do 6 of these and 4 of those. I'm about 90% sure that's going to solve all of their problems in Vancouver. And of course, all that stuff went away because they didn't have access to it. But that does have building materials, and it has space for basically everything else. Now the text claiming it's a good cause sometimes can be scams. Yeah, well, that's also true. You have to be very careful to vet your charities that you donate to. Very, 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 very careful. Just here to say hi. Good to see you. We're having a good time with the trains. Maybe not the most efficient setup ever, but it works. Now, why do we have these giant things? Okay, that's still 928 going to Port St. Lucie. Let's evaluate what's happening here. This has got 80. Okay. That can really only hold 80. Okay. Well, there's not that much happening in these boxcars. Let's go down to 2. These do have 2 compartments each. That should be noted. And I'll put 2 more of these cars on there. And we'll see what happens. Just keep on looking at this. We're working on it. Now let's check town statistics. Everything's very good except noise pollution, but we're not going to care about that. Stations, traffic, etc. Most of these seem to be getting at least some of everything, except Billings is not getting goods. We might not have enough goods being produced, but I can't really can't do too much about that. Yeah, we're still waiting on steel going into the goods factory in Akron. Where is that steel? It's coming from New York City Machines Factory. Where is that coming from? This New York City Steel Mill? I am struggling to remember exactly what goes where. Train 20. Okay, that's plastics. I need the train that's doing the steel, which it looks like that's coming from here. Yeah, okay. That goes underground. That is not the one I'm looking for. That's not here, is it? Or is it the there's one of these way over here. Maybe I've completely lost track of myself. I guess we'll wait for the steel train to come in. I'm pretty sure that's the trunk line to the, yeah, it is. Yep, I got over $2 billion actually because I've spent so much money on train tracks. I don't think anyone has the release date for Transport Fever 3, but I want to play it as soon as possible. Is this the steel? It is, and it's not full. So I need to follow this train. Port St. Lucie, we can leave that alone. We need to follow this guy and see what's happening at the head end of this train. Because it has the space, it just does not have enough coming. Oh, we got a GG1 on here still. Tuscan Red. Legally distinct Pennsylvania Railroad. I've been watching all of the development things for Transport Fever 3, and we've seen some gameplay. We've seen those summary videos with kernel failure on them. I think Transport Fever 3 is actually going to be good. Because it's obvious it's the same engine, or similar enough. where they've kept the look and feel of the existing game. They've implemented some changes that people actually wanted to see. And they haven't tried to do all sorts of nonsense. It seems like a logical evolution of it. Urban Games has officially confirmed Transport Fever 3 is scheduled for release in 2026. Good. That means we have 8 months and a week. At the very, very longest. Okay, so we're coming over here. This does not have enough iron. Oh boy, the next problem we have to solve. We need more iron. This is completely slam full. This has nothing going into it. How many iron do I actually have? Is it just this one? It looks like it is. That's the outbound, this is the inbound, and then this is coal. So we definitely could stand to have another iron mine. There are some down here. Getting into here is going to be a challenge. And this is somebody else's, probably... I actually couldn't tell you. Oh, that's the freight for Chattanooga, isn't it? No, that doesn't make any sense. Where is this going? Oh, that goes over here. Okay. I'm not playing GTA 6, no. Late 2026 launch date, Q3 or Q4. I think Q3 would be a smart thing for them to do. And selfishly, for my time availability, I hope it's Q3. Because that would be good. You're trying to manage not going to jail. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, this is only able to do 150, so it's clearly not the fault of the train that's taking it there. Gotta find more iron. And I know I said we have this up here. That would be kind of a nightmare to get in. If I hadn't built this, maybe it would have been possible. But I think what I can do... I don't have any trains in here, right? Good. Get rid of this. Get rid of this. Get rid of this. Get rid of this. I think I can get this to fly over if I'm careful enough. Come down here and get this iron ore. This iron ore is already fully involved. Is this one able to... No. Steel supply doesn't have enough space. I didn't think I was going to have any more cargo buildings here, but I guess I was wrong. It's not going to fit. I guess I should just shut up and build that, huh? That's fine. Now I got distracted. Wow, there's a lot of iron ore down here. If only there were a... Oh, there is. Oh, don't tell me that. Don't tell me that. It's going to be a nightmare to get this anywhere. I can't do that. Well, we do know, for whatever reason, the map decided to give us 6 of these in very close proximity. We're not going to be hurting if we take one of these away and want to do something else with it later. Hope that wasn't going anywhere important. It was not. Okay. Let's just give these guys a little bit of a chance to do literally anything. 320. I don't need the 2 tracks, but something tells me I'm going to regret not having to. At the same time, I don't think I care anymore. Let's just do that. I just have to get this across here. I don't think we need to worry about it being high speed necessarily. I want that to miss here, and I want it to come across this way. So let's come across this. Is that going to be completely ridiculous? Actually, first of all, let's see what it tries to do if I have this come into here. Obviously, that's a problem. Obviously, that's a problem. But this routing here is actually not that bad. Regardless, it gets to the same crossing point, and that's what I was trying to figure out. So that is where we want to go. I'm probably not going to remember, but let's call this. Oh, giant tunnel. That's fine. We'll live. So now I need to get across here. So I'm going to have this come up to right about here. Let's do that. And then we have to have this come up and over. That seems like it's going to be a decent enough approach. Alright, now if I go up, I can avoid too much of this. Let's see. I may have to sacrifice a little bit of this for the sake of, you know, not hitting the tunnel. And if I have another iron over here, which you know what, we do have that hasn't been touched, we can have that come out this way. Maybe we'll have to have this be straight. Straight enough. So now I have to connect this to this, which I feel like is totally fine. Is it ugly? Yes, but guess what? Don't care. That's going to work okay. I think for the purposes of what we're trying to do, I might as well straighten this just a touch. That looks a lot better. Okay. So that's going to get us our additional iron. And then if we want to go ahead and get that taken care of, we'll need to figure out where I want to put the station. Let's just remove this. I don't think we're going to need any more wood basically ever again. Don't need that. If I have this station come off on this side, then that would not be too hard to join with this. Let's do that. Alright, one track. And I don't want it to join. I do want it to play nice with me here. So let's come out to, say, right there. And then let's come out to, say, here. But instead of directly connecting and merging, okay, that's actually not going to work. I need to make a double track. Probably of this entire viaduct here. Have this go. Well, new problem to solve. Let's redo this. We'll go down a little bit more. And then we'll connect that. It's not gonna let me get away with this, is it? Okay, we're gonna have to do some shenanigans here. Let's build this first. And that goes all the way in. Alright. Now the burden of proof is on this thing to figure out what it's doing with tunnel routing, and it looks like that's going to be fine. Okay, crisis averted. Now I have this double-track viaduct, which I don't necessarily have to keep it that amount, but I do think it makes sense to start the viaduct with the same alignment there. Now I can come in from this all the way over to, all the way over to here. And if I want this to actually be fully sped up, then that's fine. 99 is the maximum speed it can go. I don't want it to slow down. So do I want to instead... I guess I could have the viaduct very slightly join in like that. Let's give this a fighting chance. Let's go up to, say, 101 right here. And then try this. Get that set up there. What's that going to get me to? Okay, that is much, much better. That, I think, will work. Alright, so now we have sharing the same platforms because I'm an idiot. We'll have to put signals. I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. Doubled the potential output of this thing here. And we just need to have trains go on it. So, how am I going to accomplish this? How am I going to accomplish this? Is GTA 6 really coming out in Q4? Let's be honest. It's been delayed how many times? Q3 would be smart though, because then you hit the before back to school. If it's July, August, September. Actually, no, I think a lot of kids go back to school late July now. Is this even a game for kids anyway? This is for guys in their 30s who like nerdy stuff like myself. I just really hope it's not this month, next month, or June, or I'm going to not have time to do it. How am I going to do this? If I duplicate this... First of all, we need to evaluate what kind of train this is. The Venerable GG1. Unfortunately, I think it is not going to be good enough, but we're going to give it a shot. Gondolas. Let's try 200 capacity. Oh, I could get the 300 in this. Yeah, 300 capacity gondolas. 99 miles per hour, so I guess that can do it. It says mediocre, but it's going to be okay. Let's duplicate this. Alright, you got me there. No depot found. I'm going to have to do something stupid. Alright, let's bear with me for the sins I am about to commit. Let's put that there. And let's put that... Yep, that's where we're at. That's where we're at. Okay, so that's been fixed. Tell you what I'll do is I'll just... Oh, you stupid idiot. It's not going to let me do that. Alright, well, I'll just rebuild it from scratch with no GG1s. The preservationists will be very upset with you. Why can I not... there we go. So that has 180 capacity. Do I really need 300? I really don't need 300. Yeah, it says mediocre. Is it going to get any better if it's just 200? Technically, yes, but probably not. Why not? Why not? We'll just do that. We'll give these guys the old 300 here. Unfortunately, all I've got is... It's actually quite a lot. A 63,000 pound-feet attractive effort. But this is still 75,000. I think the GG1 was like 50 or 60. I can't remember. Regardless. Nope, that's the wrong button. Regardless. Gondola time. Let's make 2 of those. I need to have lines actually defined. What are these named? I probably should follow that naming convention. Did I call that the Norfolk Steel Mill? No, I did not. That is Port St. Lucie, maybe? Refiner supply. There you go. Pumpkin spice lattes counterclockwise. What in the world is this named? Oh. Well, I guess that's okay. Coal to steel, parentheses, goods. Very creative. Props to my boundless creativity. That's going to go here. So let's call this coal 2 to steel, parentheses, goods. There you go. Bow before my unparalleled linguistic might. There we go. This is going to be iron 2 steel. Okay, now I actually have somewhere for these trains to go. Coal 2 to steel. Unable to find it, you stupid idiots. It's connected. Oh. Oh, I am the stupid idiots. It's my fault. I'm the problem. Not anymore. No, no, no. There we go. What was that? Coal 2. How nice it is when this works. Alright. So, that should help solve a lot of our problems. YouTube, why did you... I know why YouTube censored it, but don't do that. Yep. Anyway. As of today, the official release date for Grand Theft Auto 6 is Thursday, November 19th. So what's going to happen is there's going to be a lot of people who are not going to want to go to Thanksgiving dinner because they're too busy shooting cops. Let's not do that. Let's see. I have the entire month starting that week off for the game. Oh, so you're going to be in there Remember one of my friends taking 2 weeks off work for Red Dead Redemption 2 launch, and then it got delayed. Yeah, I would be mad too. Oh boy. So what's going to happen now is we're going to remove these. All right. That's good. That's good. That's in the middle of nowhere. And now it's gone. Very good. Very good. We should see a tremendous uptick in production at the steel mill just as soon as enough iron arrives. So we'll keep watch over this for a little bit. I don't know that I've ever had that much time off in my life. You set your own schedule, why didn't look? It's fine. It's the way it is. Alright, so here comes some iron. And that is going to, of course, bring more as the thing levels up. Why do you think I got rid of it? Yep, the pollen is absolutely nuts. I was thinking, I should wash my car. No, there's no point. I'm just going to wait until April. It's terrible every day. Yeah, actually, legitimately do not do that because people on the internet are stupid and don't care about context. When I have a busy month these days, it means I'm billing over 40 hours in the month. I hope for your sake you can still earn enough money only working 40 hours in a month. Yeah, I have, I mean, the work I do is comparatively very, very easy. It's not physically demanding. It's just mentally exhausting. I think the past couple months, I think I've been, I don't keep track, I probably should, but I'm estimating between 50, 60 hours a week. Between all the other stuff I'm doing. I'm going to have to take a vacation at some point soon, but the Timberborn launch will not be denied, and the Satisfactory launch will not be denied. The only thing that will be denied is my sleep and my sanity. People absolutely do not get context, and it infuriates me. Objectively, that is not a true statement. That I work. Okay, I know where you're going. I missed it until just now. Oh boy. Lowest billable rate's $150 an hour. Good for you. Good for you. Well, I hope you can have as much work as you want to have. Time for another cross-country road trip. We'll see how much gas costs. Tentatively, I do have one of those planned for this summer. But we're gonna have to see what the finances are looking like for that. All right. This is already at maximum speed. I want this to upgrade to the maximum level, and then we'll see where we're going. Could rent? Oh God, no. Cross-country road trip in an EV for the route that we normally take is not going to be viable. I don't think, unless they've added a lot of charging stations along I-10, I-20, and I-40. I-40 might actually have a surprising amount, but I know like the Midwest has some, Northeast has some, California's got a ton, and I don't know. I guess I've never had to look, so that's why, but I don't know that there's many in the southern half of the West U.S. So it might sound insane, but I've never actually done a vacation that is just me doing whatever it is I want to do by myself. It's always been going with somebody else, usually it's family things. So, it just kind of is whatever everybody's doing. If I had my rathers, probably would be spending a lot of time by myself somewhere where I don't have to worry about solving problems for other people. I don't know if that's cabin in the mountains for a week, go hiking, go do all the fun stuff up there, or go somewhere across the planet, ride a bunch of trains, one of those kind of things. But all those things cost money. And it may be financially irresponsible for me to do anything like that. We'll see what happens. I've got a couple things planned that I'm hoping to be able to do. Stick a generator in the trunk. There you go. I've actually seen that. People do that before. It is doable with planning, yes. But I don't know. Range anxiety is a thing. Complete unfamiliarity with actually driving or owning an EV is another thing. I know it's gotten a lot better in the past, even the past 5 years. But I would be so afraid, based on what I have seen about the different charging stations and all that stuff. Another channel recommendation: Aging Wheels, fantastic channel. A guy who actually knows what he's doing as an electrical engineer and all these other things, talking about EV technology. He's done road trips. He's done all these other things. And every single video of his that I've seen about EV road trips, talking about, oh, is this doable? The answer is yes, but also no, but also yes if you're smart. And if it's just me by myself having a good time and with no schedule, nowhere to be, then okay, yeah, sure, that sounds like a fun thing to try and figure out. But if you have somewhere to be and you have other people and you have all these other things you have to worry about, that's just a recipe for stress. And look, vacations are not supposed to be stressful. A lot of mine are, for various reasons. But it is what it is. I would like to go to Alaska, yeah. That was one of the things that was on the docket for a family thing. It ended up not happening. I've got a couple friends up there who've been practically begging for me to come visit for years, but it's expensive. But I have no doubt it is a wonderful place to go visit. My vacation is sleeping for a month. Oh, I hear you. I hear you on that. Let's see. I also should stress that until basically this past year, I had never in my entire life... well, I won't give you the exact number because people don't really need to know, but this past year was the very first time in my entire adult life that I had ever earned by myself, without having to, work for somebody else, enough money to consider a respectable single income for where I am. I have never been wealthy, ever. And I still am very much not, but I'm finally getting to a point where I feel like, maybe I can do something nice for myself once as a treat. I think it would be really nice. I mean, I don't know if I'd want to do Alaska as a cruise necessarily for like a first-time thing. But if someone else is going to say, hey, you know what, you want to come along, we're going to pay for you to be here, I absolutely am not going to say no. People I'm related to already know I'm not going on cruises with strangers. That's a bad idea. But I got friends within a couple of hours of Anchorage who've said there's a bunch of really, really cool nature stuff to do. Fishing, hiking, camping, hunting, all that other stuff that people do up there. And it is an unspeakably beautiful part of the country. Gary, thank you very much. I appreciate you supporting me for all this time. Hoping soon, next little bit, to be able to figure out if I can actually afford to do stuff. Another plug for Stream Elements. All right, I keep forgetting. I have to do that. All right. I'm gonna make a note right now to try and get that set up. Want to see the glaciers before they melt? Okay, I think you have some time before they're gonna completely melt, but yeah, glaciers are good for cruises, or cruises are good for glaciers rather. Helicopter ride to a glacier hike. Helicopters are kind of terrifying if you think about it. I'm not saying I'd never want to get in a helicopter, but I think that would be one of my last choices for transportation. Because if that engine quits, you're done. It's over. You're already dead. At least a fixed-wing plane, you can glide somewhere where you will eventually crash and then also die. But you have a chance at least. I know auto rotation's a thing. Yeah, sure, but And some of these tour companies don't maintain their equipment. Drive an EV professionally in Norway, 200 to 250 kilometers every day. Tons of spare range even on the coldest days this winter. It's just so much better to work with compared to the petrol diesel cars. So if it's a scenario that works for you and you have charging infrastructure that is accessible, and especially if you can charge overnight or if your employer pays for it, absolutely sounds like a great idea. I'm not familiar enough with Norway to really understand what your road network looks like, but I do know it gets cold. I also know that you probably are not doing a lot of long distance, well, by US standards at least, long distance traveling. So that's probably a great option. The Beard Booster name mod, well, that one has a note in the form of a message from Bobbing About that I've kept open so that I remember that I have to do it. With just scheduling is hard. Oh, I know about the Jesus Nut. I'm very aware. Excursion costs $600 a person, but figured when else am I going to get to do that? Yeah, and that's another thing. Like, money is a means to an end, right? You can't take it with you when you're gone. You might as well do something with it that either benefits someone or something you care about, improves somebody else's quality of life, or gives you a neat experience that you can remember for as long as you're here. So for something like that you think you're probably only ever going to get to do once, $600 is cheap. You just have to have the money. Yeah, the new small planes are surprisingly well equipped. I don't know if it's anybody except Cirrus who does it, but I know they have a parachute. Garmin has a technology called Autoland that has actually successfully landed a plane when the pilot was incapacitated. So like the technology is really cool, and if it works and it saves lives, then that's great. But I also have a very healthy fear of small planes with a single pilot and a single engine. I don't know. At one point, I wanted to be a pilot, but my vision was too bad, and I didn't have enough money to take flight lessons or whatever. And now, I'm kind of glad I didn't, knowing what all has to go into all that stuff. Does the Beard Booster name mod have a modifier like you've been a minute or longer? There's a higher chance of a named beaver. I don't know. I imagine that probably would be possible with some coding. Unfortunately, I have absolutely no clue how coding works. But this is already leveled up all the way, and now we're just waiting on transport. So let's go ahead and just make this longer here. These are not the fast ones. I'm going to give this the 300 capacity treatment. And it immediately loaded up all 300. Okay, cool. So I'm going to consider this problem solved for the time being. And let's, first of all, remember where I am. Aha! We still have 583 going to Port St. Lucie. That's fine. Cruise ships are, indeed, extreme disease vectors. And when I was younger, I went on a couple. We were fortunate to have the funds to do some really neat stuff when I was a kid. And I'm glad we did that. I don't think I'd do it again. Knowing what I know now about how, some of these companies do or do not keep things clean. And having 8,000 passengers and 3,000 crew on these enormous ships, I don't know, man. I don't know. That seems like too many people for me. I know the smaller boutique ones, which cost a ton more money, are probably a better experience, but if I'm going to spend that kind of money, it's probably not going to be on a boat for a week. Yeah, people, I would hope it's gotten better in the past 6 years, but people, by and large, do not practice good personal hygiene. And if you're on a ship for a week and you have to eat from the same dining rooms and use the same elevators and the same handrails and the same doorknobs and all this other stuff, you are going to get sick if someone else is sick on that boat. Yeah, the smaller ones. And it's wild that this is small now. Like, when I was, 9? At that time, we went on the largest passenger ship in the world it was either by gross tonnage or passenger capacity. And that same ship now is the second or third smallest in that cruise line's fleet. And it holds 3,500 or 4,000 passengers. I just cannot imagine what those huge ones are like. It is nuts. I think cruise is a decent way to see multiple islands in the Caribbean, and then you can just fly there next time. Yeah, and that's what we did. We went to go see the Caribbean. We went to go see the Bahamas. I've been to a bunch of neat places. Went to Jamaica. All that stuff. Had a really good time. But I think if I wanted to go back to a place like that, I'd probably just fly. I think the Disney cruises are kind of a mixed bag. Like, they're really expensive from what I've seen. And as the Disney brand has kind of grown into this thing that pushes kids out and caters to the really, really wealthy Disney adults, the ships probably are a little bit more accommodating to the adult crowd, but it's just so much money compared to somebody like even Royal Caribbean or Norwegian or something. I don't think I could personally ever justify it. But I've known people that have taken it and they've really loved it, even people who didn't have kids. I do have a passport, actually. I just got the book. I did not get the card. Did you climb the waterfall? We went to the waterfall. We did not climb it, but we did go. They had a river rafting thing where you're on a river raft and you got a guide who paddles the thing along, and he's got the long pole or whatever. That was fun. That was a really, really nice time. But I think I was like 8 years old when we did it, so I didn't really understand everything that was going on, and now a lot of things make sense when I think back to the things that I saw and the things that I experienced on there. I think a lot of people were having a really good time. We'll say that. Let's see, what else? What else do we want to get ourselves into? Because I don't have infinite time to stream. I don't care about the pollution. That's all looking good. Billings is still not getting goods. I don't know that I can actually increase. Okay, this is about to level up. Okay, that's good. Steel is still kind of an issue. I'm hoping that solves itself. But it looks like every city that needs stuff is getting at least some asterisk of everything that they need. Corona still does not have their bricks or their food. Milwaukee doesn't have goods. Nobody has enough goods. Fuel is not going to Peoria, but it's getting... Now, is the Peoria issue because they don't have enough cars on the train? Where is Peoria, anyway? Well, I know in reality where it is. Where is it on this map? And I know we don't have passenger stuff going everywhere. Where are you? There's Peoria. Now, the freight train going to Peoria should have... Aha! Alright, the only reason I'm pausing is so I can fix this. 3 boxcars. 3 flat cars. Did not have tank cars. We'll do 3 tank cars. So that's going to help. And they want... The rest of this can go in all of that stuff. That should be fine. Hollywood. I think we already fixed the mixed freight for that. I guess we can wait and see. Nope, it just disappeared. We went on an excursion and our bus driver stopped to... Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Let's see. Yeah, Jamaica's an interesting place, and it's what I'm sure it's changed in the past 25 years. But getting off the ship was very touristy, but everybody was really nice, and it's a very, very beautiful island. Let's see. Also went to Aruba. Aruba was great. St. Thomas was great. I think that's changed a lot. St. Martin was great. And I know that's got a lot of history there. Half the island's Dutch, and the other half is I can't remember what the other country was. It's a lot of really, really cool stuff. Puerto Rico was cool. The only thing I remember from going to Cozumel is we took a Jeep tour, but they ran out of Jeeps, so they gave us a Chevy Tracker. And then all of the locals hated us. They just flipped us off the entire time. Which, you know, as a kid, you don't understand why that happens. But as an adult, you're like, okay, I get it. I understand why these people are mad. But that's my only memory of that. Getting 1 or 2 blocks away from the main tourist drag, you can encounter some real people, culture, and food. Yes, you absolutely can. And that is usually what I prefer to do when I go somewhere. Just try to find something local. I think I've never been to Bermuda. I know where you're going with that, but for the sake of discussion, I went to Bahamas, been to Key Largo, I think. Maybe. The special beach? If by special you mean the one where the planes land on top of you, no, I don't think we got to do that. If there's another meaning to special, then well, I couldn't tell you what it was. Also, I was like 8, so I'm not really gonna have any knowledge of that stuff anyway. Greetings from Portland, about to hop on a plane, wish it was a train. You and me both. Well, have a fun time wherever you're going. Well, hopefully it's a thing you can have a fun time with. No. We're not doing songs on stream. One, because monetization. Two, because I'm not good at singing. This is Pembroke Pines mixed freight, and that can hold everything that I think they need. What does Norfolk want? Okay, so that flat car, boxcar, that should be fine. Paterson wants fuel. Is this... No, that's passengers. Okay, is this the mixed freight? Okay, so everything's being met there. That's good. What are we looking about over here? Vancouver, I know, has been kind of a pain. But everything that goes... or the goods go in, tools and machines can also go in. I just need to make sure I have enough cars on the train. And it looks like we do. Okay. What about... See, Corona we've had problems with. Where's the Corona train? Oh, that comes this way anyway. Yeah, too many trains. Where is it? No. That's not it. That's not it. That's also not it. What is that? No. I guess we just have to wait. Yes, definitely you're traveling. Keep your wits about you, because people will absolutely take advantage of a stupid tourist who doesn't know what's happening. That's why I think until I get... Well, assuming I can ever afford to do any of this, and not immediately regret financial decisions, I'm probably not going to go to what I would consider to be places where that might happen for a while, so I can get used to, you know, just traveling by myself and enjoying things. Dutch and French. I wanted to say it was French. Okay, so that makes sense. I'm talking about St. Martin. Yeah, okay. So this has the tanker car, and it's got this. How many, Okay, I already fixed this one. They just don't have all the... They don't have all the materials yet. Yeah, because English had the British Virgin Islands. I know that. And then a bunch of the other European countries got their fingers in all that stuff. Okay, Indianapolis is getting both of those. They haven't asked for anything else yet, so we shouldn't spend any time worrying about it. West Covina. Well, they are technically getting fuel, and they're getting food, so I guess that's okay. And Chattanooga's probably been okay for a while. Yep, they're getting everything. Passenger status notwithstanding. These people do not have goods, but that's not because they don't have room for it on the train. That's just because we're not producing enough. And then we got big guy right here. 629 people. For counterclockwise. Why is that? Why is that? Why do we have 629 people going around the outside? And this is counterclockwise. This is about to be full. I don't have enough platform length to do a double length Acela, which is unfortunate. I'm going to have to increase the frequency, I think. Yeah, let's add another 2 of those, and then 7 vehicles. Yeah, okay, we'll do this again. We'll just increase frequency. That'll help. I have a list of railroad destinations in the U.S. I would like to get to. We'll see what I can make happen. I love roundabouts so much. I don't love going through roundabouts when other people also have to go through roundabouts. because I don't know what it is. People, like you're saying, people just don't understand how to do roundabouts. I don't know what's hard about it. It's just go. Don't go if there's a car in the way, but otherwise go. We did tell you to fix Concord about 2 streams ago, but we did. We did stuff with it. I have. I've been to St. Augustine a couple times. Went to the fort that's there. Went to there's an alligator farm or whatever. Went to that. Toured around the historic district. Ate at a bunch of restaurants, and quote unquote Fountain of Youth or whatever. I've been to all that stuff. It's really neat. And to be fair, the Concord fixes that you guys were talking about had to do with this station overloading. Not necessarily this one, because this wasn't a problem. But, we're gonna see. We're gonna see what happens. We just have to wait. That's pretty much all you can do with these. I'm sure the city wants to expand, too. They just don't have the, they don't have the ability to get roads on the other side here. I kind of hemmed it in with all this stuff. Player ownership, no. Does that mean I have ownership of all of this? Okay, that's Country Road. Okay, so they can't redevelop a road if you have ownership of it, so I wanted to make sure that they had ownership of all of this. And I guess they have. They've gotten that taken care of, so let's give them a... let's give them an access to the other side of this. It's all just passenger stuff, right? So if I give them a platform on this side, then they can actually transfer a lot easier. Passenger building. Small main building should be plenty here for something like this. Let's give it a very very simple connection here. That hopefully is going to spur some more development on this side. I know it's ugly, but you know, it is what it is. And then, of course, on the other side here, without a good road connection, they're not going to be able to get into anywhere. But this is a big enough... Oh, that's so nice looking over there, too. But I have to build the modern equivalent anytime I build anything new. Is what it is. So that is not quite far enough. I'm going to consider that good enough. It'll work out okay. Is this going to go? No, it is not. Alright, I'm going to have to... Oh, no. Oh, no, I bulldozed your house. Sorry, bud. I do not want a grade crossing with high-speed rail. That is, contrary to popular belief, not something you should be doing. Now, if I go up to this level, I guess I could just have that be straight. Is that going to be enough to go across? Survey says yes. And if I go across to here, it's not going to play nice. So let's do straight here. And then raise this up just a touch. Try to make this as not ugly as possible. Is that straight enough? Okay, that clearly did not work. Oh, I don't like that at all. Oh, no, not that. Not that. All right. Nope, 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 nope. We can't do that. We have to approach this from a different perspective. I need to have... No. What? It's a straight tool. What? All right. I want this to be higher. I guess I'm going to have to just groom the landscape for it. All right. See, right here. There is a certain amount of, you know, tolerance that this does have. I could not tell you what it is, but we will we'll figure it out. There's also no guarantee that they'll actually use this, but I figured it would probably be a good thing to figure that out. All right, let's just raise on either side of this, just to no, just to give us a spot we can actually anchor to. Now, I hope that's going to work, because if I'm just sitting here wasting my time doing this, then I'm going to feel bad. Oh, I don't like that bridge pillar. Go away, go away, go away. Okay, I don't hate that. I also don't love it, but I don't hate it. Let's turn that there. Okay, let's... No, I don't. I want smooth. Smooth. Rob Thomas Matchbox 20. There you go. That kind of smooth. Is that going to get me where I want to go? Looks like it is. Alright, so now at least we have a road with a proper... Oh, that's hideous. I don't care. It's fine. And that is not player owned? Okay. Alright, well, at least they have some sort of avenue to expand by coming around here. We'll see if they utilize it. This is down to 480, so that strategy is working. Alright, let's see. Hey, Pie Guy, sorry to just get back to you 5 minutes later. I was busy making an abomination. Been watching a lot of Conflict Nerd playing this, and I feel like this game is a lot. I don't hate it. It is a lot, but it doesn't have to be a lot. It can be as much as you want it to be. And admittedly, I'm doing this in kind of a stupid way, but we're having fun. I don't think I've ever had port wine. Not a big wine person. So we do have another goods factory if we are truly desperate to produce more goods, which we probably should be. I don't have any extra steel, and I don't think I have another steel factory I want to engage. I don't remember this being here, but it's probably been here for a long time. I do wine all the time. Hey, just popping in to say hi. Won't be able to say, unfortunately. We'll try and pop again in soon. Thanks, and glad to see you, even if it's just for a little bit. Oh, here we go. Port wine means it's from wine from Porto. Otherwise, it's just fortified wine. Just like champagne is only champagne if it's from the Champagne region of France. Otherwise, it's just sparkling wine. Sorry, I mean, it's a lot of people saying I don't hate it. Oh, is it as in their opinion of the game is middling? Is that what you're getting at? Prison Architect is fun. I really enjoyed... I think I've done 3 series on Prison Architect. I was thinking about doing another one, but then I held off because the sequel is going to come out. And it's been radio silence on the sequel for a long time now. So I don't know if we're ever going to get it, but well, maybe I'll do another Prison Architect series at some point. If I have time. Don't believe it's restricted like champagne. Well, it's kind of like the Kentucky bourbon, whiskey, whatever kind of thing, where people are like, oh, it's not real if it's not from... Look. For the average person is not going to be able to know the difference. Like, not to disparage anything or whatever, because I know local heritage, local specialized products is a big source of pride for a lot of people, and absolutely don't take anything away from that. But the average person isn't going to remember that. The sequel got canceled entirely? Well, I mean, wouldn't be surprised. Have you thought about a raw materials depot that you could link the factories and raw materials and then send finished goods to the city supply hub? Well, I thought about it. But I figured having only the finished supplies all in one spot and then one train per city would be the easiest way to go about it. You can see that that's not necessarily worked out super great. Oh, we have a lot of extra plastic. Okay, where's my plastic thing? It's right here? Yeah, we've got so much extra plastic. We could conceivably have another goods factory here if I can find some more steel. And this has backup there. I don't think this can really make anything else. It's already maxed out. But let's see. I've got how many extra tracks? This is the one that goes to the hub. I've got 2 platforms here. And this comes from... Why do I have 2 platforms for this? Is that a round trip kind of thing, or do I just have 2 of these? Chem plant... That's oil well 3. Oh, that goes through the station. No? What am I doing? Refined oil supply. Did I just make a really stupid layout for this? Oh, no, no, no. This comes from here, and it goes up here, and then on another track, this goes... Okay. 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 I see what I've done here. Now, I do have an option. Since I have all this extra plastic, I can put another platform on this. Yeah, I'd have to have another platform. Put another platform on this, and then I can have another train line. It goes down here. I know the rest of these... Actually, that one is high speed. That's what we're gonna do, folks. We're gonna have this thing go all the way down and under to get over to here. So that is what I will be spending my time doing here. Is that going to get me? No. Yes. Okay. Yeah, 104 is fine. I don't need this to go continuously down into the depths of the map. I just need this not to cross over any of these other things here. Now this wants to go up. Why are you going up? I did not tell you to go up. Did not tell you to... Don't... Okay, definitely don't do that. Definitely don't do that. That's... Can I go up at all? No, I don't want to break through. How far away? Okay, that's fine. No, 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 no. No, this is not... That's not what I wanted. No, I think I can... Yeah, I can get much closer to the surface here. Just to keep things a little bit not stupid. Is that connected? No, 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 no. Hold on. Hold on. Now this comes up to the surface. Do I want that to come up to the surface, and where am I going to get my steel from? If I'm taking extra steel from this, then I would have to have... I would have to have another platform, and then... Or, you know what, I could just attach to this. That's fine. And I could have this come through, weave its way back here, and then come to that side, probably. Yeah, let's do that. Let's have this come out on this side here. I think I can make that work. And this is going to be way up on a berm because it decided it needed to be for some reason. I don't think we want that. Alright, anyway, this track has to connect to... That's too far. That's too far. It needs to go this way. I want this to connect over here. I do not want it to be a stupid huge viaduct. I don't see how that's really necessary, but... I think this will work. I just need to turn this into the correct bridge. Alright, so we have to remember that's coming from our chem plant. That is where that's going. I need to put in a cargo station that needs to be 2 tracks. 3 tracks, if I remembered how to do math. I like how this fits in this little nook right here. Yeah, let's do that. Then this 1 track has to go into here. Too much slope? What do you mean too much slope? Ah, that's what you mean by too much slope. Alright, so new plan. All the stuff we just built. Yep. Construction crew is crying. Concrete suppliers are crying. Taxpayers are crying, but that's okay because in this game, none of that matters. This can go straight in here as soon as it's not the wrong bridge. Okay, so that's chems coming in. Now I have to get to my steel, which is here, which means the steel comes this way. And then I think I can even share a tunnel with this. Yeah, let's do that. But let's join after the station. Right here on the tangent of this curve. Let's do that. This long as it doesn't try to merge it into the same track again like this other stuff did. Come out of the tunnel, because that's, you know, a realistic thing. They'd want to save face with the tunnel being reused. Come through here, and then just follow this right along the side. 103 is fine. That's maximum speed anyway. And then I just have to have this merge into one of these things. So let's take that straight in. You know what? I don't think I could have done much better than that. So this gets to have a signal now on the inbound direction, which we'll put one there as well. Alright, so now this is going to be a new steel supply all the way up here, and then this, of course, has to go to the hub. Is there another track going to the hub? We'll worry about that later. Why did it... YouTube has been on an absolute tear the past week or so, censoring messages that have no business being censored. Now I have to read chat again for the last 5 minutes. Let's see. Signups had opened for a closed beta test on January 19th. Interesting. Although, given my opinions that I've stated about the handling of City Skylines 2, I don't think Paradox is ever going to give me the time of day. That's okay. I don't need or want free stuff. I just want to play games, man. I just want to have a good time playing with the games. I'll play it when it releases, and I'll buy it if it's good. Okay. What else did I miss? Oh, we're talking about cheese now? Welcome back. We're creating an absolute abomination here. Trying to get this other goods factory online. So I made a line from this chemical factory that we have way too much that we're not using. So I'm trying to get extra stuff going in here. We're going to call this Chems to Goods 2. That's what we'll call that. It's Goods 2. Then I need another one that is going to be from this steel, which we probably aren't going to be able to get too much for this, but this is what I had available. So we'll call this Steel to Goods 2, and then I need to make a Goods to the hub. Since we're already in this, let's check and see. I've got 2 tracks. Yeah, I got 2 tracks here that I haven't used. This is the fuel to the hub coming out of New York. If I have a track that joins this and then splits off to go underneath, could go between these and then come up to the goods thing on this side. So let's do that. Let's build that track and try not to be stupid about it. I think I can have this... Yeah, I'm going to have this just follow this same one here. Is this going to let me... What is this colliding with? I don't see anything this could possibly be colliding with that would cause problems. Okay, it doesn't like coming this way. Why is that? Alright, let's come out straight here. And then... There we go. Now we'll just join up to this right before the bridge. There we go. That'll look better. Not that, you know, appearance matters at all with this, but that'll work out. This can come in through here, through the tunnel. Share the tunnel. Know what's it colliding with. Should not be colliding with anything. Alright. Alright, so now it comes out of here. Actually, the way this comes out, it probably would have made more sense to go on the other side. Let's see. Oh, there's no way it would be that simple, right? No way. Not a chance. Not a chance. Well, I guess that's where we're at. Did we miss the pylons? No, we did not. Okay. Can I get this any tighter without losing my... okay, so clearly it doesn't... Clearly it doesn't want me doing that. Is there going to be a better spot for me to go underneath? Doesn't look like it. But I'll tell you what we can do. We can have this go to basically the limit of the rolling stock. Go to 100 right here. And then I should... No, don't join that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. I already asked you nicely not to do that, and yet you're doing it again. Okay, if I come in... Alright. Where's this road going? Okay, it's going to a town. We can't get rid of that. But what we can do is we can hit pause, and then we can delete the road, and then we can build the railroad, and then we put the road back. And then nobody can cry about it because it's done. Alright, I don't need that to be 110, but that is going to prevent a whole bunch of shenanigans with the pylons. This, as a reminder, is attempting to go to there. So it's probably about to be in extreme tunnel land. Remember, these aren't intersecting. I want to get this through here without it actually touching anything. That is above, okay. I can work with that. And then this comes out here. That's probably okay because I just have to get it over to this bit. So it needs to go through... No, don't do that. It needs to go through this mountain range and cross both of these. So let's... this will get me above all those at least. Yeah, that's fine. Now coming through here, this is going to want to have a crossing there. We don't want that. So what I will do instead is continue going up. Make sure that is the correct type of bridge. And then we can just have this go straight over. That is impeding the track. Let's fix that. The game is very generous with its clearances. Oh, see, in real life, you'd be absolutely destroying your rolling stock hitting these bridge piers, but it's probably fine. Oh, that's not fast enough. It's not a fast enough curve. The mountain's going to be hell if you have to tunnel through it again. Yeah, it absolutely is. Here's what we're going to have to do. I'm going to remove... No, I don't want to remove the trees. I want to remove the track. Stop it. Stop it. Wait, let me get at the track. I don't want to get rid of the trees. Cease and desist. Alright. This is going to have to be rerouted slightly to cross at a higher angle. So that it doesn't... there we go. Let's do that. 137 miles per hour, that's okay. I do need to straighten this a little bit, though. Now that I can live with. Let's lower this a little bit. How low can it go? Not that low. Okay. 155. We'll call that good enough. And then over here, if I have this go back down to ground level, then that gets very nicely aligned there. And that gets me on a pretty good course for colliding with this. And that just has to go from here all the way across all this. We can go on this side of this mountain and be done with it. Okay. I haven't forgotten about the road we demolished over by New York. We'll go probably fix that. I just need to make sure this is good to go. Alrighty then. So this comes all the way over here. And it wants all of that to be viaduct. For $2.6 million. Okay, well... Nah, it's fine. Now let's just get this in here. 124, as long as it's above 100 and... or I guess just above 100, that's fine. Okay, now we have to do this. Let's get goods. Was this goods 2 is what I called that? Over to the hub, which comes into this one. And that is what we will name this. Goods 2 hub. Goods 2 hub. Not goods 2 hub. And if I just connect this track here to this thing, I can put in another train, which we'll go ahead and do so I don't have to worry about it later. Unfortunately, no big boys. E60C is our best friend. Goods go in a boxcar. So I'm going to have this be... I think 200 capacity is probably about as many of those as I can fit lengthwise. We can increase it if it has to do that. Okay, goods 2, which is right here, should be rolling out. And we'll see if this is, you know, long enough or we can put more on there. Why does the game do that? I don't know. Hold 2 while on the bulldozer and it should only delete train route. Really? The eternal game of bridge limbo. Okay, so this can fit a couple more train cars, but I guess that's fine. Let's fix this road before I completely forget. Again, it really doesn't matter, but people get really mad in this game when you don't have roads for them to connect to. So, that's fine. They can wait for the train. They'll survive. This is not the train we're looking for. Alright, I made all the routes. I did not make all the trains, so we do need to come over and do that. These two go different places. I think you already know what's about to happen here. That is, I'm going to have to put in a train depot and connect it with both of these tracks. A little bit more carefully this time. Conditions very bad. Cry about it. Let's see. So we need a train that will carry chemicals, and then we need another one for goods, or not goods, for steel. Let's make this 200. We'll send this to the... Oh, how did I name this? Was it Kim's? Kim's to goods 2. Yes. And then I need a different one with flat... Oh, come on. With flatbed. Another E60C. And that is going to... I guess I could do 200 on that as well. That's going to be steel. And that is all the way down here. Steel to goods 2. So that should be, in theory, enough to get this up and running. We will see in just a moment if that does anything. Don't really understand how they made such a mess of CS2 and CS1 is pretty good. I think there's a lot of things that went wrong. And originally I was convinced it was not... what are those people even called? Old studio. Colossal Order. I was convinced at the beginning it was not Colossal Order's fault, and that it was probably just Paradox meddling with release dates and making promises that they couldn't keep. But the more I see... yes, the hippos are here. HHP8s. I think there's only there's less than 10 of those operating anymore, and most of them, Maryland area, regional, whatever, is using those. Anyway, the more I see Ice Flake, and the more I see what they've done, and the things that they fixed in the game, leads me to believe that maybe it actually was Colossal Order's fault. But I don't know. I've not talked to any of those folks. I've obviously not been involved in development. But it seems like enough things were broken that maybe Colossal Order had reached a point where it was just going to be impossible for them to do anything else. And either they wanted out or Paradox said they were done or whatever. I don't know. But I do know a couple people from Colossal Order did go over to Ice Flake and continued the development. Colossal Order has blamed the game engine for not being robust enough to do what they wanted to do. And they're obviously not going to throw their publisher under the bus. Maybe they will now that they're not part of it anymore. I genuinely don't know. But based on what I can see, I would have a hard time believing that the game was fundamentally doomed from a technology standpoint if a studio that up until this year had basically only been known for making mobile games has somehow managed to come in and fix all of these problems and make a whole bunch of stuff better. So who knows? Maybe those fixes were in the works at Colossal Order, and then Paradox pulled the plug, and Iceflake just gets the glory for it. Couldn't tell you. It just seems like a really, really poorly managed project from the top. Whoever's fault it is, and that's very unfortunate, because I do believe the people who were working on the game actually genuinely cared. But stuff doesn't always work out. That's just life. Oh yeah, Google's insufferable now. Like, the search engine is almost useless. Every time you use generative AI, you contribute to making it worse. I guess that's probably all I need to say about that. Is the platform storage big enough to hold all the output to the goods plant? It will tell me if it does not have enough, but right now we're just waiting on getting more steel. Yeah, I saw the lead designer was throwing the engine under the bus. But, see, everybody, quote-unquote, everybody uses Unreal, right? So, I have a hard time believing that it's actually the engine's fault if the majority of the gaming industry manages to make it work. Unless they had unrealistic expectations of what they were going to be able to do, and then that's a different story. Asking about the steel plant sending to that. Okay, let's go check it out. It's not throwing me an error about not having enough storage, but it's never a bad idea to have extra storage. So I will put a little bit in. By a little bit, I mean a lot of it. And hopefully that's better. We're already producing as much as we can possibly produce, but it is going to start splitting it up, and we'll get marginally more in terms of goods. But I don't think it's going to be enough to satisfy all of our demands. This is just something that I saw that we could take an advantage of. I know the chemical stuff, we definitely have a whole lot. And I don't think we're lagging on inputs. No. So slowly over time, we're going to see some of this rerouted to the other goods plant, but the main issue we're going to have is not having enough steel. And in terms of having a steel plant somewhere else, you know what? We can actually look. Let's take a look at industry. If we sort by product, go down to steel. Wow, we have a lot of steel mills we're not even using. But they're on the other side of the map, aren't they? Pembroke Pines, all the way over here. We've already basically maxed out these three. Modesto is over here, a little closer. Indianapolis way over there, and then Akron way over there. So we are, unfortunately... There's two of these right next to each other. We're not really in a very convenient spot to have any more steel come over here. However, if we were able to get steel coming out of this, we could route that into this goods factory. That might clear things up a lot. I don't see enough raw materials nearby for this to work. We're already using all of this coal to go into this steel mill, which it seems like it's actually not getting enough shipment. Oh, yeah. It's upgrade time. 216? No. We can improve it. We have the technology. 240. What other trains are here that we can upgrade? I know they're not full, but it will allow them to go faster, and that should help. We'll just make this for 240 because I have extra money to burn, and I'm not afraid to do anything with it. Alright, that's clearly too much capacity. Don't care. We'll go down to 240. That should be fine still. And then this is another one we haven't done yet. Yeah. I'm going to keep the Milwaukee, whatever this is called, though. Those are neat. And they can do 99 miles an hour. Okay, what other trains are coming in here that I have not upgraded? I know these have to do their whole hurry up and wait thing. But maybe that will help in terms of shipment stuff. I think it might be the ones coming out of here that are going to be the problem, which is this train. Ah, yes, PP Steel Supply. We're all 12 years old. Are these the new ones? They are not. They can only go 75. Let's fix that. And I forgot to check what the capacity was. Let's hit pause so we can have this immediately. let's go to 300 for this. And that barely fits. Okay, so this issue was not the capacity of this train, but now, at the very least, we can get those shipment numbers up. Plans transports at 100 so we can clear everything. Yep, that should help. Unreal Engine does not have the best reputation. That is true. But what I meant by that was that so many people are using it and making a bunch of really cool stuff that the whole excuse of this engine is garbage, no. Even if that's true, you have to know how to use the tools that you're given. And if you are an experienced game developer, which at this point Colossal Order would be, and you are trying to do something that you know you can't do, blaming the engine is not a good strategy. So I think we fixed all of this. I don't know why the shipment hasn't gone above 300. Or maybe that's just because these things are constantly having to wait. Who knows? I was going to check again. Steel mill, obviously. Transport's at 93%. This is the other one over here. Okay, what's the deal? What's the deal with this? Okay, that's iron supply, that's coal supply, this is iron supply. I haven't upgraded this train, I probably should. Let's go into 162. Alright, well, we'll just do 160, because it's, you know, it wasn't full anyway. This one's already been upgraded. Coal supply, yes. Alright, that hasn't been full up. Okay, okay. New York Steel Supply is unable to keep up. So that means, well, I can already tell you what the problem is that the platform that this is going to, this goes all the way up to here. I think, is it, yeah, this is a transfer here. That's probably what the problem is. New York Steel Supply. I mean, this is full, but it does not have the upgraded cars. Let's fix those. Oh, I've been going 3 hours. I'm going to have to stop soon. Let's do, said 144. Let's do 200. I think it might be too long for the platforms, but it should. Like a glove. Look at that. Full 200. Let's follow this. See what happens. Man, this thing's slow. We might have to say goodbye to the big boys before too long. Well, now what? Now what's this? Oh, another spam phone call. That goes in here. And that's going to come out to this station. The only reason this is this length is because that's the length of the platform from New York. Yeah, see, that's really not great. But it still unloaded it. So now, in theory, there should be a train here. Machines supply. There should be another one that's taking steel. That's the... Yeah, that's the mixed freight. That doesn't have enough cars, but I can't add any more. So I have flint machines. I've got... I should have, if the steel is going here into the machines factory, then that should be all she wrote. Yeah, I just need to make this a larger station, but I don't have the length here. If this one comes through here, and that's the steel, I could actually make this... Yeah, I could give this a second platform, and then extend the track. That would maybe help a little bit. I just know I couldn't move that one because of how that was set up. Let's, for the sake of argument, since we're already here, let's go ahead and replace those, because that's an easy thing. So now that should allow, when this next train comes in, it should allow it to unload a lot faster, and then maybe we can lengthen the platform for the source on this. Okay, that should help. Gives it a fighting chance. Let's let this run for a little bit. I know the dev of Baldur's Gate 3 was poking CD Projekt Red about the fact they'd moved to Unreal, saying that the Witcher 3 engine was better, and he didn't understand why they had moved. And he asked if they had made anything but sandboxes yet. Yeah, the amount of money being thrust into game dev by people who are not interested in actually making good games causes problems. Remember, earlier in the stream we were talking about why I don't want to do sponsors. And that is because whoever writes the check makes the decisions at the end of the day. Even if they tell you, well, you're going to retain your creative control. Well, no, not really. Because as soon as you disagree with them, they're going to say, okay, well, who's paying for it? And then you're stuck. What engine is Timberborn? I believe Timberborn is in Unity. Or it was. I think it's Unity. Howdy indeed. We're probably approaching end of stream here in a little bit. I just wanted to try and balance a little bit more of this stuff. Let's see if this catches up, because we're not out of steel yet, and this can unload. Okay, that should eventually, over a long enough period of time, solve our problem here. I really liked Kerbal Space Program, and it's so upsetting what happened with the sequel. I had a great time playing Kerbal Space Program. I was not good at it, but it was fun. Yeah, I want to see this production and the shipment go up to 400 and stay there, and then we can go and look at something else. Okay, that's a freight train that needs to be upgraded, but I missed my boat on that. We'll catch it the next time it comes by. Okay, so that's production shipment all the way at 400. Transport has to continue increasing, and I think that may be what's happening with the smaller trains that I haven't upgraded yet. Okay, no, it's jumping up. I hear something coming in from the side. This one is already upgraded. That's the new flat cars. I need the one that's going up to Flint with the machines to get upgraded. Yep, we're looking good now. Looking good with this. Okay, this Flint machine supply. Oh no. You get bigger boxcars. I think that's all it needs, so I'm gonna give it 6. I think that's what fits. No, it does not. Okay, this now gets to be 5. Now it can't do it during an autosave. There we go. Because I want that loading speed. Okay, so we'll watch this for a second. I never did figure out how to make like an airplane in Kerbal Space Program that wouldn't crash. I did rockets. I went to the moon. I went to one of the outer planets. I don't know how I managed to do that, but I did. Okay, that's unloading. I think we're good. But I just had fun, you know, just designing stuff and seeing what worked, doing all the science and everything. I know there's a bunch of people that were really, really good at the game. This is way before I did YouTube. I would never even consider doing it on YouTube just because I know I'd not be very good at it. But that was a very, very fun game. Now, does Flint need anything besides machines and goods? Because if it does, no, it does not. Okay. Well, it's going to want stuff later, and then we'll maybe have to put other cars on that. We'll see what happens. I've heard that's a good play. Not seen it, but basically everybody I know who has loved it. Planes are funny. The aerodynamics package in stock Kerbal Space Program is spicy. That is a fun adjective to attach to that. I've seen videos. I know it gets kind of nuts. Hey, look at this. It doesn't say 600 anymore. How about that? It's like we solved the problem. Definitely not dirty at all. Oh, I know. I know what's in there. Musical theater is interesting. I was never really that into it, but I can appreciate it. Okay, so that's looking good. Let's check on our rates here. Yeah, these are making money here. The refinery supplies and all that. We do not have San Diego clockwise or PP plank distribution. Why? Where is that actually? Why is that rate 0? Or is it just not caught up? No, it doesn't seem like there is any... Oh! It doesn't go anywhere. Oh, that's leftover from when I... okay. That's fine. Let's go back here again. These are all low throughput commuter things. That's okay. That's not a problem. West Covina mixed freight rate being low is because that's a long track. These are all commuters. That's fine. That's fine. I think we're looking okay, honestly. Balance being super low on these is... Why is that so low? Is it because these are taking a super long time and they're going super slow? Shipment is 0. Why is shipment 0 on this? Did I forget to, wait a minute. There was a building materials factory here that has gone away. Why did it go away if I was actually using it? I clearly have not... Why did it censor that? Okay, so clearly the game has decided I no longer needed one of the industries that was here, and I don't know how long that's been gone, but it's probably contributing to some of our problems here. Oh, we got the big brick over here. Where's big brick going? 400 and still Port St. Lucie. It's okay, they're catching up. Well, you know what they say. All publicity is good publicity. I don't know that that's necessarily always true, but it's fine. Alright, I think we have reached just about the limit of what I'm going to be able to do today without spending a ton of extra time. I mean, passenger stuff is losing money, that's normal. But it's improving connectivity of everything. We do need to connect these interior towns. Modeste, no. Thank you, Kurt. Is not going to get a direct route to basically anybody else except one of these things, either Hollywood or Peoria here. I think we talked about that last time. Yeah, because all the ones that are actually connectable by around the outside have been connected. Beaverburg's got a connection to Paterson. We've got Billings and Milwaukee probably would go to Indianapolis. West Covina's too far away. Chattanooga's got that. New York's got one. Flint and Miramar are probably going to end up connecting to maybe not New York City. I really need to redo this station, but I can't get rid of this this cross through here. It's got too much growth on the side. We will figure it out, but we've gotten a very, very good amount of stuff accomplished. All of the cities are serviced. They have not all grown to the point where they need 4 different types of goods, but we have gotten as much as we can get optimized, and I feel pretty good about that. So, this is where I'm going to have to end it. I appreciate you guys hanging out. I appreciate all the support earlier in the stream, and I hope you have a good rest of your Sunday or very early Monday, depending on where you are. We'll see you again soon. Take care, friends.